Welcome to the newly updated EX200 long video. I know you guys don't like long introductions. I know that you guys don't like, but this one has to be done. You guys need to listen first before you continue. This is an update for my video about the EX200 prep exam. This is not the dump. This is a prep video for the exam for you guys to prep, to see me do stuff and get your mind going about all the mindset. This is an updated version because the original video, 100% of the video is valid, but things kind of progressed and there were some changes occurring on the exams, and I have recorded and shown you guys separate videos updating that one. But some people are missing the playlist, some people are missing the updated videos, and they are facing some problems. And after dozens or hundreds of people having success with that video and dozens and hundreds of my own students finding that video very useful and helping out to create that video, it's due an update. So this is the newer version. This is March of 2026 with the updated version. So listen to this first. The first part of this video is going to be with all the updates, and I'm going to list you. It's going to contain the new password recovery procedures that are not the RD.break. I'm going to show you 2 ways to recover your password, how to create your systemd script to put in the custom systemd script they ask you to do, how to run the script inside a container, how to configure SSH Access to better access your Node 1 and Node 2 machines, how to configure the network, possible keyboard problems, have the passwd as a shell for the user, scripts, updated scripts that you might get asked throughout the exam, how to use FlatPak, how to create a container using a Docker file, and how to run a script inside of a container. Okay, so this is going to be the first part. This is going to be a compilation of already existing videos. All of these videos already exist on the channel, but people appear to miss them. Okay, and of course, check the description. In the description, I'm going to have all the chapters marked out. You can skip right now to one of the chapters or play this at 2 times speed. Okay, so I'm going to put all those updated videos, and after those, they're going to be updated, kind of an optimized version of the original video. Okay, it's going to be the similar content. It's going to be myself. Of course, that video kind of optimized in terms of timings, but it's going to be the same things. So if you see me talking about on the second part about password recovery, and you're most likely going to see me using the RD.break procedure that works on RHEL 9 and not on RHEL 10. But because that was covered in this first part of compilation, where I show you 2 ways to recover a password that is not using the RD.break. So if you see myself in the second part talking about a different way to do the password recovery, for example, don't forget in the first part there is the updated version. So by doing this way, you have the full spectrum of ways to do stuff, and you have all the spectrum of stuff. No bars, no obstacles. You have all the stuff you need to do to get prepared and train yourself for the exam. I'm going to show up again before the final long compilation, final long optimized compilation of the end of this video. So, and I'm going to remind you guys, hey, now the optimized part comes along. Be sure to watch the first part. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. People are failing the EX200 exam because they do this wrongly, but they don't have to. As you know, if you've watched my video series about the EX200, you already know this, but let's say it again. When you are doing the exam, you have 2 machines, Node 1 and Node 2. Names may be different than this, but it's Node 1, Node 2, and you need to do the root password recovery process on Node 2. And if you fail to do that on Node 2, you just get the grades on Node 1. And if you do everything right in Node 1, it's not enough to have success. It's not enough to get the grades, to get success and pass the exam, you can get 130 points or something like that if you do everything right in node 1. So you need to recover the password in node 2. Please pay attention to this. It will depend if you are running the exam on RHEL 9 or RHEL 10. I'm going to show you both procedures, how to recover the root password in RHEL 9 and RHEL 10. If you are doing the exam in RHEL 9, you need to know the RHEL 9 procedure. If you are doing it in RHEL 10, you need to know the RHEL 10 procedure. They are different. Please pay attention to this when you get to node 2 and you need to recover the password. First, remember, is it RHEL 9 or RHEL 10? You have made that choice before and while booking the exam. And now you need to decide which one it is. Now that you do know, let's do the password recovery process. Please do not fail because of this. Your future depends on that. So RHEL 9 is probably the most known one, I suspect. So this is RHEL 9. I have interrupted the grub and we are at the grub boot process. And now we're gonna do the procedure using RHEL 9. You should know how to reach this point, but I just interrupted the grub and I'm going to use the first option here. And during the exam, you have the options to reset the machine to its full fresh order. You can reboot the machine, power off the machine. You have controls available to you. And even if you do something crappy, you can reset the machine to a full working order. You need to do everything from fresh, but there is that option. So I'm going to use the first option. I'm going to hit the E key. I'm going to go to the quiet. After quiet, and I'm going to type rd.break. And if you see there, you have the options here to hit Control X or F10 to boot. I'm going to hit Control X just because yes. If you know a different procedure that works for you, it's fine. If you prefer to, if you know that the RHEL 10 procedure also works on RHEL 9, fine. This is how I recommend to do things on RHEL 9 like this and then differently on RHEL 10. I have videos how to recover the password in both methods in my channel, but this is focused on the EX200. So if you know procedure that works on one or the other and you don't agree with my procedures, it's fine. Just make sure that you practice and make sure that it works. And I know this works throughout the exams. I know it works through, I know these two procedures works in RHEL 9 and RHEL 10 on the exam day. So it's tried and true. If you want to go another route, it's fine. You can do it yourselves. You can go your own route. I will not, of course, I will not hinder you on that, but make sure it works. Okay, this is my recommendation. So we are booted. So let's do down the mount -O, remount RW, sysroot. Of course, this is I'm going to doing this faster. If you want to see me explain all the details, go check all my playlists, and I do it slower and with more detail. Then chroot / sysroot. Passwd. I am root already, so Red Hat. I'm going to put a password as Red Hat just to make things simple. Of course, I need to make the passwords match. There we go. Password is set. Let's put the configuration for SELinux touch /autorelabel. That's that. Then you exit once, exit twice, and it's going to reboot. While this reboots, and it's showing me that it's going to do the SELinux stuff, which is good. Now we go while this boots, we come back here. You come back. We go to the Rocky 10 or the RHEL 10. Same thing. You go to the grub and you just kind of pick one. I would avoid the rescue, but that's just me. Regular kernel, trust me. E for edit. Go to the end and type init equals. There is my equal sign there. /bin /sh and RW. RW to make our file system read and write so we can actually change the password. Okay. So now we go and we wait for this. If you forget to put the RW in that phase, you just type mount minus O remount comma RW / if you forget, just type this and it should be golden. Okay? Because if you don't do this, you type the passwd command and you see the authentication token failed or something like that. So passwd, set the new root password, and now you reboot. You can reboot just hitting the reboot key on the control dash on the exam. Here I could just do the restart, it's fine, or just type exec /bin init. It's bin or sbin? Sbin. Init 6, and it should reboot. I have been successful with this. I forget. Before you reboot, this is very important. So important. Don't forget to leave the auto reliable thing for SELinux. Okay? Don't forget to keep this, because if you don't auto reliable stuff, things will go awry and strange things will happen. Don't forget the auto reliable stuff. This is only useful when SELinux is enabled, and it is for the most part, especially in the exam. Now we do reboot exec /sbin init 6. Let it do its thing. It's going to do this. This is very important. It's relabeling the SELinux stuff. This is very important. So while this does this, let's go back to RHEL 9. Okay, it's sleeping. Now you can just log in here, or just go to one of the secondary login screens and try your password. And it's fine. It's working. My new password is fine and dandy. Let's log out and go back to our RHEL 10. This is going to take a while in my case, because this is built in a kind of a slow storage at this point. So in your case, I don't know how fast it will be. I just recommend you some patience, because sometimes these waits are a little bit stressful. I can relate with that. I can relate. So just let it go and let it do its thing. And we can wait. And we can wait a little bit. What's that thing behind me? What's this thing? It's this. Is it this? Oh, it's my other camera. Okay, well, after this entertaining piece, this is going to continue. I forget I had the camera there. Much better. Okay. Now we just do the same thing. We just hit a secondary login screen. So we just type it, test it, and there we go. Our password is completely set. So be careful with the procedure. I have shown you the RHEL 9 procedure. I have shown you the RHEL 10 procedure. Depending on your exam or the exam scheduled, you have to know which one are you doing, if you're doing a RHEL 10 or RHEL 9, and it should be plastered all over the place. So I have shown you a way to do on RHEL 9 that always works. If you want to do differently, it's your own thing to decide. This is how it works. Always works for me. The rd.break for RHEL 9 and the init for RHEL 10 with the rw at the end to get read-write rights, or to do the remount afterwards if you forget. The exec says in init 6 will just reboot. So watch this video over and over again. Please don't fail the exam because you just did not know how to do the correct procedure to recover the password on Notes 2 during the EX200 exam.
I can see you there. Stop overthinking. This is just a very simple networking question. You are sitting down on the exam, is either remotely in the classroom, and you are presented with the configured network question, either in Node 1 or Node 2. Take a deep breath, you'll be fine. Don't try to configure things on the config files. You can, if you wish, you have lots of experience, so do whatever you like, but just use the tools available to you at that point. An empty UI should be available, and that should be your first choice. You're going to see behind this image me doing an empty UI configs in RHEL 9 and RHEL 10, and they're basically the same thing, just a get an empty UI out of the open, get some root access, and start cracking. An empty UI is going to show you the list of the available interfaces. You can just compare the names with instructions to see if they match, but they should. Choose the configuration you want to choose, edit the option you want to change. Most likely, it's going to be just IPv4, but if you ask IPv6, it's basically the same thing. Make sure everything is manual. All the manual options are enabled. Get your IP address going. Get your subnet mask going. Your default gateway going. Click OK. Disable the interface. Enable the interface. At this point, you should be at the physical console, so you are just fine doing that by disabling interfaces and enabling interfaces. At this point, you should not be dependent of the network configuration. You should start and stop at your leisure. Apply the configs like I'm doing back there, and you should be fine. But do not forget the host name. Dudes, don't try to burn brain cells with which file is the correct one, which service I need to restart. Just use hostnamectl hostname. Do yourselves a favor and just do hostnamectl hostname. Hostnamectl space hostname space the name, whatever you want to call it, or, well, not whatever you want to call it, but the name they specify you to call it. Let's say, I don't know, node1.lab.example.com. Hostnamectl space hostname space the name they specify, most likely node1.lab.example.com or anything of that sort, and we're good to go. No need to restart anything, it's just done. If you feel more comfortable by seeing the actual name showing at the console, log off, log on back again, and there you have it. Hostname is set, network is configured. Just stop overcomplicating stuff. Stop overcomplicating stuff. If you want to complicate stuff, you can, but do that after the exam, okay? Do that after the exam. You can, when you are done and you have your certification going, then you can complicate everything you want.
I see people struggling more and more and more with this throughout the EX200 exam, and you don't have to struggle with this. And I see this being posted everywhere as a big thing, and it's not, and it does not have to be a big thing. And people are asking, are having problems connecting from the physical console emulator on the workstation to the Node 1 or Node 2 practice nodes on the EX200 exam. So what people mean by that is that even if you're running a local exam in the classroom or remote, it applies to both, is that you are running kind of a emulator that emulates the physical console, and that is kind of disguised behind some layers of kind of custom apps that Red Hat puts there. It's fine, it works its purpose, but people have, if you only use that, people have trouble copying, pasting stuff. They can copy, paste, and save some time. Setting the correct keyboard layout. Some characters just don't go through correctly, and that can be a little bit troublesome. And all of that can be worked around with a simple SSH session. So the first part, where you configure the network, you need to go through the pain of going through that physical console emulator. It's fine. Watch my previous videos. Just use NMTUI and you are golden. And when you have your IP sets and your DNS sets, go to the workstation, to the physical machine, quote unquote physical machine, the first machine you connect to, and you can SS ping or whatever if you feel better by pinging it first. And you can SSH from the physical node to the virtual node 1 or virtual node 2. So people are struggling, but if I SSH from the physical machine to the virtual machine, so from the physical node to node 1, I'm going to stop doing this, but at this point, you know what I mean. So when you SSH from the physical machine to node 1 or node 2, the default configuration applies to SSH, which means that You cannot connect through the root user, all right? And at that point, you have no other users who can connect you to node 1. So node 1 at that point and node 2 will only have root available. And the default config means, as you know at this point, you cannot SSH with the root user, but the root user is the only user you have available. So one last time using the physical console, don't change the SSH config files. You could, but you're just going through too much trouble, because many times the virtual machines have custom configs that may bork stuff. So don't do that. Just go to the physical console to node 1 and node 2 if you need to when you reach the node 2 phase. Create a temporary user like user adds, potatoes, set the passwords, anything will go here. At this point, I hope you know how to create a new user and set the password. But in the end, I'm going to review that real quick because I love doing that. So in the end of this video, I'm going to review how you can create a user, set the password, and connect with it. So create a temporary user so you can just SSH into that node. Do the exam throughout. And well, of course, you connect with that user and then you su to root or use sudo. But to use sudo, you need to go through the sudoers file. That's just unnecessary. Connect with that newly created user, su minus or su to the root user, whatever preferred method. Use su, set the root credentials, get yourself to root access, and do all the tasks through SSH and with the comfort of SSH and with all the copy pasting possibilities, keyboard layouts. You can then resize your font easily, and all of that good stuff applies. In the end, at the end of all tasks, you should have more users that you can use, because some tasks throughout the exam are to create users. And at the end, you can just remove that test user you created at the beginning. If you feel more comfortable by deleting that, just remove it and be happy with your life. But if you forget the user there, I don't see them causing you any issues by having an extra user there. I don't think it will create any harm. It happened to me. I forgot that user there, and there was no harm, no foul, no problems there. But if you prefer to delete it, you can delete it and just be more reassured that nothing wrong will happen. This is another tip that it will make your life much, much easier on the EX200. I'm going to keep posting in this series to keep you guys aware of issues and things that you can use to work around and make your life easier and guarantee your success. Right, next, after my outro, how to create a user and use it through SSH and how to delete it afterwards. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck, guys.
So at this point, I suspect you know how to do this, but let's do it anyways for the ones who have some questions or doubts on how the process works. So let's make believe this node 1, it's the workstation. This is just some random Red Hat machine that I had here lying around in my VMware workstation platform. So yeah, so this is yours. This is your physical console. Geez, you just get yourself some root access to do the first tasks, which are to set the networking. You do the stuff you have to do. You just edit the connection. So this is 231, doesn't really matter. Give the IPs they want you to give, and yada, yada, yada. Go and check the other videos about that, and you just get here and you confirm the IP address. So this is my 231 computer. Fine. Now, let's imagine that this is kind of my physical node in a way throughout the exam. And I'll try to do SSH. Let's do root at 192.168.168.1231. I say yes. I type in the password that I know it's correct. And you just get that because, as you know, root access is not enabled by default through SSH nowadays, which is a good thing. Now, going back to the physical console of your machine,
of your workstation node or whatever they call it. Don't have to change SSH. You just do user add. Let's call it temp user. Okay, give it a password, passwd temp user, whatever you want to give it, and we are fine. Now, when you connect, instead of root, you just type in temp user, give it a password that you just set, and you are in the system. You just get yourself some root access with su, and you off to the races. No need to change no configuration files, no need to change nothing. This is just you doing your stuff and just doing all the tasks. Do the same in Node 2 if needed, and you are golden. In the end, or at the end, whatever, you're done. You're waiting for you want to go away, and you want to delete the user. Just the user del. If you want to check the help, you're fine. Force, it's fine. You don't need this and the remove and the root. I mean, with either way. So I'm going to use the -r temp user. Okay. It's used by process, and he's right. I'm still here. So let's just log out, remove it. It's still using the process just for shits and giggles. No, okay, it's gone. So I was going to check what process was this, but most likely it was the SSH session. Now it's gone. If you try to find him or her, whatever, it just does not exist, and the user is completely gone. And this is how you can just create a temporary user, then remove it, just to do your tasks on Node 1 and or Node 2, and you are more comfortable. Here comes the outro. Or you will fail the EX200 exam unless you do this. Task: user account X, Rachel, for example. Create, I cannot even type. That's my own problem, not yours. Okay. Create user account. Create user account X, Rachel, or whatever, and make that the user shell can only change the password and cannot do anything else. Very bad English, I know, but what they want you to do is to create an account and give it a shell. That shell, the only thing this person can use or can make or can act upon the system is to change its own password and nothing else. It's stupid, but this is how you do it. Let's create the account. User, add Rachel. I cannot type. Rachel's creating. Give her a password. Passwd Rachel. Let's call it Rachel. Done. Next, what we're going to do is you're going to the passwd file, and you do this absolutely stupid thing, but if they wanted to do it, do it. It's fine. Bablamo. What? Doesn't matter. Check this out. I'm going to SU to a regular user. Fine. If I do to her, the only thing I can do is change the password. If it fails, and I'm kicked out. So, in order to create the user and make sure that the only thing he or she can do through the login shell is by its only thing they can do by using login shell, it's change the password. So the login shell of this user, the only thing you can do is change this password. It's like this. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.
You are failing the EX200 exam, the RHCSA exam, because of your keyboard, most likely. Many people have been reporting that when they try to type in the password, the provided password on the exam or in the exam, English, it doesn't matter. When you type in the password that they provide you for Node 1, so this is not the recovery procedure. Node 1 you are given the password, okay? And you have to type in the password in the actual physical console of the server, and the password fails. You type, and you get always the password invalid or any kind of that sort of situation on your password. Even though you are typing the password they have given you. Why is that? Because often at times your keyboard may be badly passed on to the remote machine. Even though you are typing the password correctly in your keyboard, you might be getting to the other end, something goes wrong and the password is not getting there proper. So your keyboard may be causing you to mistype the password even though you are typing the password correctly. And I'm going to show you how you can avoid that and how you can work that out in a few simple steps. Check it out.
And that it's actually very common, and that's exactly what we would expect. You type in the password and you don't see the password getting typed in. That's actually what we expect. But the keyboard layout may be completely borked and badly configured, okay? Now, it will depend on the situation, okay? If you are at home at your own setup, maybe you have more control, but often at times, the keyboard is not correctly emulated to the remote server. And if it has special characters, uppercases, lowercases, or even regular letters, because as you know, not all keyboards are QWERTY keyboards like this one. Some are ACLs keyboards, some are variants of the QWERTY keyboard, and they can actually expose issues regarding that. So my suggestion, well, there are two suggestions that I want to give you. The first one being type the password in the username field, okay? Type in the password in the username field, the password that you believe is the correct one. So since in the username field, the password is exposed, you can actually see all the characters. Type in the password on the username field and see if the password actually shows up as expected. Again, sometimes you are at home and you have more control, but the keyboard typing, the characters that reach the other side are not exactly the ones you are typing in this side. So check to see if the characters actually get typed in correctly in the remote side by using the username field. The other suggestion is, if you are at home, well, I said two in the beginning, but right now I'm kind of remembering a few more. So if you're at home, don't forget to burn in the Fedora USB thing, the test environment, and try it multiple times in different times of day, because latency will change and keyboard emulation will change according to that. I know it sounds strange, but it may happen. Test it multiple times a day, especially at the time of day you think or you know you will do the exam at. Also, get an external keyboard at the ready. It cannot be wireless. But if you are using a desktop PC, well, you have the keyboard already there, right? But if you are using your laptop, get an external keyboard at the ready. Also, if you are taking the exam at the test center, so if you are at the test center and you are taking the exam you actually go to the training facility of some whatever company and you are at the test center, they are going to use the laptops, and the laptops are provided by Red Hat. They are ThinkPad laptops that Red Hat provides. And it may happen, I'm sorry for the shouting, it may happen that the actual keyboard of the computer, it's not actually emulating correctly the keys. So again, try in the username field and see if the actual letters that you are expecting to see show up actually show uppercase, lowercase, special characters. Sometimes the keyboard says it's a Q and it's an A, and so on and so forth. So type the password on the username field and see if the password is actually popping as expected. If you're at home, get an external keyboard at your ready, USB one. Do not use a wireless one; it's not allowed. To help you to get at least a different keyboard to help you out. If you are at the testing center at the remote center, you actually went physically to some training physical training center. The training center provides the laptop for you or to you, English. Sometimes they have a proctor, someone sitting there, an actual person sitting there, and doing the exam with you or for you. He sets up the whole classroom. He did all the stuff, and he did everything for you. Other times the laptop is just sitting there. So the people who are actually aiding you to do the exam are not people that are technically savvy. So they are just people just running the facilities. They do what they can, but most often they are not technical people. They're not technical savvy. So they don't actually know how to troubleshoot computers and internet connections and all of that. Okay. So sometimes people that are there aiding you or trying to aid you as best as they can, they are not technically trained like we are, and they don't really know what to do except follow the script that Red Hat gave them. So sometimes they are just not able to help you because they don't know more than the aid they are giving you at that moment. Okay, so but
I was just editing the video, and this also applies to the Shift F10 thingy-majiggy and not Shift F10, the Shift X and the F10 thingy-majiggy, so you can boot the machine when you are issuing the starting the password recovery procedure. Sometimes the Shift X or the F10 don't work proper, and you are unable to boot the machine with the changes to the grub. So if you are feeling that with the Shift X or the F10, the keyboard may also be a problem. Let's resume.
But they are capable enough to provide you an external keyboard. Okay. Again, if you go to the training facility, and you're just typing along with the laptop's keyboard, request an external one. They are allowed to do that. They request a wired keyboard and see if you can work your password like that. So again, type the password on username field, and there you can actually see the characters being typed in and make sure that they are typed in correctly. One last tip for that. So let's just review. Type in the password in the username field, and make sure that the characters are popping as expected. Have an external keyboard at the ready, either at your home or in the training facility. And my third suggestion is as follows. My third suggestion is nothing is stopping you from actually changing the root password to the one they provide you at the beginning. So I'm not telling you that, for example, if you're not in node 1, you are supposed to do the whole exam with the root password they provide. So don't change that, because if you change the root password, if they don't request to change it, you may run into problems, in grading problems. But nothing is stopping you from changing the password to the one they provide you. Okay, so in very, very last resort, just make sure you can do the password recovery thingy, but make sure you provide the password they provide you at the beginning of the task. Okay, so just change your password to the one they give you. I know it's kind of dumb, but this may get you out of the run and just keep you going. So suggestions are, as a wrap, type the password in the username field so you can actually see the password getting typed and make sure that you are typing the correct password. Number 2, get an external keyboard going. Okay, get an external keyboard going, wired. So because the built-in keyboard might have a weird layout. If you are at a training facility, request them that. If you're at home, get the keyboard at your ready. If you're at home, previously download the USB, burn the USB, and test it out multiple times to make sure that everything should be okay. Even testing beforehand, sometimes some problems may arise at the moment you start the exam, because the testing environment of the Fedora USB key does not test everything. So when you start the exam and you connect to the remote machine, that can arise a new set of problems. And as a last resort, just do the password recovery thingy on node 1 and set the password they provide you, so you are assured that you have the same password, the one they provide you, and I want to just start. But this one is really, really a last resort. Hope this helps. Let us know in the comments below under problems that you may have found to which you have found also some solutions, or problems you don't have a solution yet and you might want the community to help out.
This is why you will fail the EX200 exam. The scripts. I have gathered a lot of feedback of my students, dozens of them, and they all passed my IAD. Yes, no failures. And they gave me this feedback. That is the scripting task. This is going to be a two-parter. I'm gonna do 2 videos about this task. And where is my mouse pointer? Is there? So I'm going to make 2 videos about this task, and this is the first one. I have an example here. So the task is going to be something like, of course, this is not the exact task. This is based on my students' feedback, and I came up with this example, which is create a script at user local bin checked underscore alpha.sh.8. Don't try to get logic out of this. It's just Reddit being Reddit. But the premises are, the script should accept a username and an argument as an argument. If the user exits, the output must be user found. If the user does not exit, output must be user not found. Ensure the script is executable by all users. So I have the script here. Then we can just copy it to the final location, and the script will be built like this. I am not going to put this in the description for you guys to copy paste because reasons, but basically it's like this. So shebang, bing bash, check if username is provided. So a simple if statement checking the arguments that we pass on to the script. And if you don't provide anything, you should say provide the username. If you do, he will check to see if the user exists or not. Again, with a simple if statement using the ID command. And everything goes to the dev null. All the interesting things go to the dev null. And if the user exists, you get user found. If he does not exist, you get not found. So let's test it out. And of course, you just do a chmod. Okay, chmod plus X and check auth and or whatever the script you name, and it's executable by everyone. So this actually fits all the tasks. It's okay. All users can execute it, and we are actually good to go here. There we go. So looks fine. Everybody can execute, and that looks actually fine. If you're watching this in a short form, can check the long form. So let's test this out. So .blam task.blam. No, stupid of me to check auth. So we said nothing and is asking us for the username, and we say root user found. If we say something that does not exist, carrots for example, user not found. So let's check this again. Where is my task there? Here, where is it? There it is. So the script should accept username as an argument. Yes. If it exists, user found. Not exist, not found. That checks out. Ensure the script is executable by all users, and again checks out. So now the only thing I need to do is to copy my script. What did I call it? I forget what I call it. A check auth. Yeah. So I just need to copy the name and copy to usr local bin and call it that name they want. And well, we can copy that and rename it or do whatever. Permission denied, it's fine. We use the root for that. Did I mistype the password? Probably I did. There we go. Then you can just rename it or use whatever process you like to get the script to its location and check what it and check and do whatever you want to do to get the correct name. I mean, at this point, you just do you know how it's done. Permission denied, so it's fine. And there we go. It's there in the correct location and has the correct name. So this last part of copying the file there, I'll just copy the file and I mean, there we go. and you are good to go. So yeah, all my students passed, and they gave me this feedback of a possible script with this general guidelines of the task. They all passed, and that's all good and perfect. So give it a go. I cannot put this in the description for you to copy paste because of reasons. Check it out. I can put it again one more time just for your reference. Okay. Let's go there, script, and this is the task and the check. Again, I'm going to make another video with a slightly different script that you may get. And there we go. Take your notes, experiment, and this should be something around these lines. They will ask you to test. Give it a go. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment. Give me all the feedback you want me to give. You can call me names, can call me pretty names, bad names, it's fine. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment. Good luck in your endeavors, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Hello, I made a very big video all about the EX200 FlatPak changes, all the RH10 changes for the EX200. This is about FlatPak. That was a new topic introduced on the exam topics, on exam objectives. So next, you're going to see me describing updating our document, what is possible, a possible test that will just replicate any text that will ask you, all the commands, all the procedures. You will see me do everything. If you want to see the long form, not the long form, the big one, you're going to put it somewhere here or on the description. Go and check it out, or in my blog. Check out the detail. This is a short form of a longer one. Like, subscribe, and comment. It helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys. The change that affects the RH124, it's a FlatPak FlatPak chapter, if you want to call it like that. So there's a chapter all about FlatPak, and of course it will affect the EX200. Okay, that it's based on Rel 10. We'll have a FlatPak subject. So in order to do that, let's update our PDF. So make FlatPak work, something like of these lines, FlatPak work. All right, and let's give some space to public rel FlatPak repo. Okay, so this is the public FlatPak Red Hat repo. If you are experimenting or doing this at home, you can just add whatever repo you want to test with. This works. This is public, so I mean I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to update the doc with all the commands. For now, this is what we are going to do. It's to make this FlatPak thingamajiggy work. So let's get this out of here. There we go. Cool. First, let's see if FlatPak is installed. So there are many ways to do this. I'm going to use this one, rpm -qa. Again, I have some keyboard issues here, but it's my own issues, not something you will experiment. So grab FlatPak. Jesus, FlatPak. This is just my own problem. It should be installed for the most part. If it's not, you know how it's done. DNF install FlatPak, and you are off to the races. Bob's your uncle. First, let's see if FlatPak is installed. So there are many ways to do this. I'm going to use this one, rpm -qa. Again, I have some keyboard issues here, but it's my own issues, not something you will experiment. So grab FlatPak. Jesus, FlatPak. This is just my own problem. It should be installed for the most part. If it's not, you know how it's done. DNF install FlatPak, and you are off to the races. Bob's your uncle. Okay, so let's check its folders. etc FlatPak. There we go. It has nothing, and a file that is empty. So this will vary depending on your system. In my system here, it's the configuration folder. It's empty. It has no config files. If you're using Fedora, the IBM, etc., this should be a little bit different. But we're focusing on a RHEL system, and for the most part, it's either empty or has. If you are running not Rocky like I am doing right now, but if you are running a real quote-unquote real RHEL system, you should have one there. But that one is a paid one. Okay, you need to pay the subscription and all of that good stuff. So just move that file away. Don't delete it. Move it away.
make sure that the directory is empty, because the other one that you probably have there, it's paid. So you don't want to pay, much less in the exam. So they will just provide the one they will give you to use throughout the exam. I'm going to use this one because it's a rel one and it's free, so it kind of stays in theme. You can add any FlatPak repo you want. Of course, next in the exam, they are going to show you, they're going to give you a specific repo to use. All right. So it's basically, it's simple. Just add a new one. Let's call it, I don't know, flat repo. I'm looking at my notes so I don't make many mistakes. I will make mistakes, but I will just keep it to a minimum. FlatPak repo, and you're going to add the one I just added to the file. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it. Okay. If you want to pause it here. I'm going to put in the description, which is fine. I will save. Can open file for writing. You don't need to be root to do this. So you should be able to add your own. Oh yeah, I'm on the etc here, right? So let's use root here. It's on the etc. Where am I? Yeah. So let's just sudo vim students and just insert. I forgot I was on the etc folder, so that's fine. So shift insert. So let's do FlatPak remotes. It's there. We can just be more verbose, but it's there. It's fine. It's pretty. There we go. And we have all the available packages here. And you just type in the passwords. I will not make any cuts. Okay, you'll just see it right. Okay. So basically, while this is going. In the exam, they are going just to make you create a new one, okay? For example, we just need to vim etc. If you want to use it system-wide, let's update this, keep this going. FlatPak. Don't put a CK. I do it all the time and run into problems. Okay, and then I just go remotes.d and call it flat, whatever the name, FlatPak repo, whatever name, and then you just paste the above. Okay. Or you can also verify if FlatPak install, RPM verify if it's installed. RPM -QA, or use DNF, whatever. Grab FlatPak. Okay, or use DNF if DNF is installed, whatever the case, or DNF. I'm going to add this here so I don't forget. Verifies installs or use DNF. It's fine, whatever the case. If not, DNF install FlatPak. Let's put sudo here and paste the above. And do FlatPak remote ls to list all the available installable packages, or if you wish, you can do FlatPak remotes to get available flat remotes, and to get available package. packages. FlatPak packages. All right. Cool. Let's go. Let's not do the do or I'll forget. Okay, let's go this. Let's follow. Let's do this. Install list app. Don't do that, LibreOffice. I want the double dash, please. Thank you. Don't correct that. Thank you. And we're going to do this. Is going to allow us to check installed FlatPak pre-installed. So never mind. It's fine because here I didn't install Spotify at all. So it was already in my system. Don't ask. And basically that's pretty much it. And I'm not going to if you want to list everything, apps and non-apps, all the shared libraries, etc., you can do this one. Let's add that one. Let's do FlatPak list to list all. And you can do just okay. Let's fix that thing there. Okay. To install. FlatPak. Come on. Install and whatever. Whatever they ask. All right. Coolio. And you are done. Just as an added bonus, if you want to uninstall, just do FlatPak, uninstall, and the app. You can just do, for example, you can just do FlatPak list and do FlatPak, uninstall. And for example, this thingy here, this guy there. Okay, you just do this. I'm not going to do that because I want to run it first. So FlatPak run. This will not run because we are running in a non-graphical environment, but it will just run. And for OBS, you will just see this and it just works. Cool. Now to uninstall. Uninstall. I will ask anything below. Our community is growing fast and growing great. Like, subscribe, and comment. If you have any questions about the FlatPak thing or the FlatPak procedure, tasks, exam, whatever the case, let me know. Whew, this was a long one, but a very important one and very useful one for everybody in the community. And if you want to join the community, please do so. Like, subscribe, and comment. Come and join us, and we'll have fun together and learn together. Once again, this was an update for the FlatPak packages on the EX200 exam and also on the RH124 training course. Like, subscribe, and comment really helps, and I'll see you in the next one. You may need this, you may need to know this for your next EX200 exam. So if you're taking the exam anytime soon, this may be something you will need to know. So at the current time, they don't include this in the exam objectives, and even the RHEL 10 objectives don't even speak about containers. But if you are taking the RH9 version of the exam, they are making some crazy moves. This is something you need to know, which is how to build a container based on a Docker file. Okay, so let me show you how can you build a container based on using a Docker file. This may pop up soon in our EX200 exam if based on RHEL 9, and even based in RHEL 10, it may also be something that may pop. So let me share this with you guys. Let me show how to build a container using a Docker file. So basically, you just create a directory, any directory really, and this directory will just create a directory. Okay, just a fresh one. Then you create a Docker file there. It doesn't have to be called Docker file. There are other names that can be assigned to this, but a Docker file is something it's very common to me, so I'm very used to use the Docker file name. So I'm going to continue to use this Docker file name, and this is an example Docker file. Okay, so basically this is one of the many ways you can use to build new containers. Okay, you can build a container from scratch, which is basically what the Docker file is doing. You can build a container based on another container. There are other ways. I'm not going to explain all the ways, but this is one of them, which is how to build a container based on a very small base. And that base is called the UBI, the Universal Base Image. And the Universal Base Image allows you to build a very customizable or customized container with a small base image. So in this case, I'm building a container using a small base image of RHEL 9, and it's going to be a very simple and very basic Apache server. Okay, so here I'm going to pull the UBI image from the Red Hat official repository registry site. You can put here the full path for what is your base container image it's going to be. Here I'm pulling it from the registry website, but you can put here the full path of whatever container you want to use as the base image. In this case, I'm going to use the base image for the universal base image for RHEL 9. It can be RHEL 10, it can be Ubuntu. Just put there the full path, like docker.io/blah blah blah if you want to get your full image. In this case, I'm pulling it from the registry from the registry of Red Hat. If you're watching this on the short form, come and watch the long form. See you there. If you are still on the long form, which I hope you are, so you can put here the full path for the container you want to use. Here I'm using the UBI image, the universal base image for RHEL 9. Here you can put the full path for the universal base image that you want to use. In the exam, they're going to post here the full path for the image. So these type of details they tell you in the exam, and they tell you exactly where to pull things from, and that you are good to go. Here I'm pulling the universal base image from the registries, Red Hat registries. And then it's kind of your own prerogative. Here I'm using this example. Here I'm just saying that I am the maintainer. Usually you put here a username, an email, whatever the case. This is just metadata. A description for the oh, I forgot to change this. Let me do that now. So this is just another piece of metadata. This is just something to be some description. This doesn't have any immediate technical result. This is just something for you to use as a reference in the future about this container. Let me save this. Then this is the command I'm going to use. I'm going to use a command called that's going to install HDPD and then clean all. Here you can use a sequence of commands you will just prefer. In the exam, if they ask you guys to do this, just follow the instructions they tell you to follow. Here I'm going to install HDPD. I could start with an update, whatever. Just run the yum. And I'm using yum. I could use DNF. I mean, I typed yum just because, I mean, you know that DNF and yum at this point in time both work. So I'm using yum. Use DNF if you prefer. You are good to go. Then I'm going to create a custom index file. So this is going to have a very simple, very basic index HTML. Just call from hello from Docker file. Again, they're going to tell you what to do here. They're going to tell you what to type there. You're good to go. We're going to expose port 80 just because it's a web server, and that's the default port for the Apache web server. And the entry point, it's what we're going to execute last when booting the container. So basically, this container is going to spawn a simple HTTP server, and this is a very common use case and very common entry point to use for creating a new container based on a Docker file. So just a quick review, the image, some metadata, what to do, which is install the HTTP server, and it's going to create a simple HTML file, it's going to expose port 80, and it's going to start the HTTPD server. So this is an example. If I run across any more specific examples for the EX200, I will post a new video of that as soon as I find that. But this is a good thing to expect on an exam topic. Now we need to build, okay? So here I'm going to build my image here, okay? Layers false, this is optional. This is just going to make the container image a little bit more compact, smaller. And I'm going to create the tag on the localhost. It's going to call Dockerfile test. Call it whatever you want to call it, or call it the thing they want you to call it. And dot, it's kind of use the contents of the current directory, and the current directory is a Docker file. And if you're using a Docker file, I recommend you to use a capital D. So capital D will just save you some troubles. Sometimes I forget to put the capital D and use a smaller case D and things fall apart. So just put the uppercase D and it should be good to go. It doesn't have to be called Docker file, but I like to use Docker file, the Docker file as the name, because I've done always like this, so I just keep it as an habit. So this is going to pull the image, like I said, on my configuration in this specific machine. I'm using the registers for Red Hat, so it's going to pull that from there automatically, which is fine. And it's, if you want on the Docker file to put the full path like this on the base image, you are also good. So this is now installing what I asked him to install, and it's just doing the yum install stuff. And there we go. So basically going back here you can put the full path for the image if you want, it's fine, and you are good to go. So this did the yums and the cleans. And now if I do a podman images, there we go. You have here the UBI that we just pulled and our own custom Docker file test that we just built. Okay, so that's fine. So if you go back here, so this reflects this, and this reflects that we used this UBI9 as the base image. So now we have a custom container that is going to execute a simple web server as when it spawns. So now I just need to run. Okay, so podman run, I'm going to give it a name. It's going to be on the background, and it's going to forward port 8080 to port 80 of the Docker, and it's going to use the image we just built. So we just run it, and you just podman ps. It's running. So in theory, if I curl my localhost, port 8080, you see the hello from Docker file, which means that this container is running fine. And why does it say hello from Docker file? Because that's one thing we did here. We just ran the echo to the index, and the index is the default one that actual podman runs. Very simple example on how to create a Docker file, but this is a possible situation or a possible task they may include, especially on the RHEL 9, but with no surprises if they include on the RHEL 10 version. This is also reality. So if you come across this task on the EX200 whatever version, now you know how to sort it out, and you have those extra points to help you go through with the certification. Like, subscribe, and comment as usual. It really helps. And now you have a new option called hype or something. So I think it's hype. So like, subscribe, comment, and hype. It really helps. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Cheers. When will they stop? When will they stop? Can't handle this. When will they stop? I mean, when you think you got this down pat, they just made a change, and when will they stop making changes? Anyways, here's what I have to say to you guys. So we had a recent comment from a former community member and a viewer called Post that said, you don't have anything about running scripts in containers, which was on my buddy's exam last week. We'll definitely include something like that in a future video with podman exec. So when will they stop to make the changes? Anyways, they can change all they want. We will be here to help one another and make it happen. So without no other further ado, let's make this happen. So how can we run scripts inside containers? So this is all about the last, well, it's not the last one anymore, but never mind. So the containers contents of the exam of RHEL 9.3. We have all the contents on my previous videos. Go and check them out. But there's a change. Apparently, sometimes they ask you to run a script inside a container, which is something we will learn today. How to run a script inside a container. And I'm going to also throw you guys a couple of bonuses things. So here's our script. Hello SH. How cool is that? Okay. So I want to put this script inside a container and make it work. All right. So I have this ready for you guys, like a cooking show. So don't need to watch me type or everything else. So here we go. How to run scripts inside a container. Let's see at least 3 methods to do so. If you're watching this in a short form, come and join me on the long form, Vids on that video channel, or check my blog, ozoi.com/oblog. See you there. The long form peeps, here we go. So let's see. So we have podman ps. I have some containers running here for us to test. And for all the Docker peeps, Docker, podman, it's all the same thing. I'm just used to podman, so it's not that important, not important. So we will use this guy. We will use this guy here, this test container 2 for our testing. So I'm going to show you at least 3 methods to make a script run inside a container. At least 3. Okay, there'll probably be more, most likely, but these 3 will work fine for most situations, and you can work around this for another approach different than this couple or 3 approaches. So let's start with, let's call the podman exec, and let's try this guy here. So basically I'm going to execute an interactive terminal on my second container, and it's going to be a bash. Okay, it's going to be our bash shell. Bing bang bosh, there we go. Bob's your uncle, and we are inside the container, and we are running with some sort of context. In this case we are user ID 101, which is fine. It's fine. It works fine. This will be good enough. Then you just need to get your scripts, get that copied somewhere. Go there. Where are we? We are somewhere here, which is fine. Let's say they ask you a specific folder, create the folder and do that. It's fine. So I'm okay, do whatever. In this case, I will try to do, let's call it hello.sh. I don't have vim, but I do have vi. Insert. You put it there. You save it. There we go. You have your hello.sh. And you just do it hello.sh. It's not still executable, which is not. So let's remove that guy I just saved. So chmod plus x hello.sh, and now you can just execute it hello.sh hello world. So that's one way to do it. So let's just log in with to the terminal with the exec and interactive terminal, the container name and the shell. You can use bash, you can use sh, whatever the one you want or can. Try one, try the other. Either one will work. So that's one way to do it. So if you have to do it as root, I have here. So you can also do this like this. Podman exec, user ID 0, IT, and everything is the same. So the thing here is just to user IDs to do or to run, and you'll be same jibber jabber, but now we are root and not that 1001. And the same thing applies. So vi hello.sh. It's already there because we are in the same folder. So let's do hello2, paste it. Oh shit. Let's get the script again. Yeah, I'm lazy. I really don't want to type this and have typos. You paste the script to save the script, chmod plus x hello2sh, and there we go. It's working, it's fine. Now I have 2 scripts. One was created with the root user, the other one was created with the regular user. We both used bash. They are both bash scripts, which is the one I know the best, but it should work also with shell with sh. You are done. Next question. Another way, podman ps, the same guy. We can try and do this podman cp, and hello.sh, test container 2, and we can copy this. I don't know, man. A TMP folder. I don't even know if the container has a TMP folder. I think it does. There we go. So ls it's executable already. So hello.sh. So 3 methods to run a script inside the container. You can copy the script. If I already have the script created, you just copy there and execute there. We're fine. That's the, well, here's the copy command. You can copy there to where they want you to copy, or just copy to one location and then log in with a shell and copy to the final location. We're good to go. We can execute interactive terminal using the root context, user ID 0, and you are root, or you can just try a non-root user, get in, use VI to create your script, and Bob's your uncle. So what did we learn here? So we learned here many things. How to run and create a script inside a container using a non-root user in the container. How to create and execute a script inside a container using the root user in the container. How to copy the script inside a container and execute a container. How to run an interactive shell without regular user context inside the container, and how to create an interactive shell terminal inside a container as the root context. So less than 10 minutes video, and look at all the things we managed to achieve. There is nothing you cannot achieve when we work together. Thanks for the community members for the feedback. Thanks for the community members for all the suggestions.
A little bird told me they have a little request or different request on the EX200 exam right now, which is to create a custom script that is going to run on a custom timer. Okay, if that's what they want, that's what we're going to give them. So it's working here. I have managed to make this work. It's not that hard. So I have a custom script running this message, hello from EX200 script, running at the every 5 minutes with the systemd timer. Okay, I'm going to show you all the details and how it's done. I was working the past hours on this kind of well, not a script, not a Linux script, but like a script for you guys to follow and experiment at home. And it's working. It's doing its thing every 5 minutes. Let me show you then how this can be obtained. And I'm going to use my own script I just created to make sure that I don't forget anything. So let's create our systemd timer to run a custom script at a given schedule. If you're watching this in a short form, you're much better watching this in a long form for better clarity and details, and I'll see you there. For the long form peeps, here we go, EX200 custom systemd timer to run a custom script at a defined schedule using a systemd timer. So I'm going to look at my other screen now so I can get my own bearings. Is everything okay? Yeah, my lights are shining on my face. Okay, step 1, create a script. So I suggest, and I'm going to put all of this in the description below so you guys can follow along. Okay, so I created at the USR local bin folder. Okay, you can put it wherever you want to put it. If they specify a specific folder, put it there. It's all fine and dandy. I'm going to put this on the USR local bin just because it works, and I mean, yes. Now I called it. I just noticed a typo here. I'm going to fix the typo so you guys get all the good stuff. Cool. Now I created a file called, and this is already kind of in an advanced state, so guys don't look at me troubleshooting stuff. So just go here and create a script. This is my test script. In the exam, they're probably going to ask you to do the script according to their instructions. I have no way to guess what the instructions are at this point. If you know exactly what they ask in terms of what the script needs to do, let us know, and then you can just chime in. Everybody can chime in their suggestions. So I don't know exactly what the script is required to do. So this is my best guess. So I'm going to echo hello from EX200 scripts to a file called var/log ex200 script.log, and that's exactly the one I was checking. So if I can check the file now. Again, this is just an example. I don't know at this point exactly what they ask. If someone actually knows and wants to share, put down the comments below so everybody can chime along and give their suggestions. So this is the scripts are going to be run in a given schedule using systemd timers. Fine, that's done. Sorry. Step 2, it's going to make it executable. So it already is, okay? It already is, ls minus la. It's executable at this point in time. I trust you guys know how to do it. However, here we go. I'm going to do it again, chmod plus x and the script itself, and now it's executable. So that's done. So create a script to do something. Again, if you know the details about what the script, what the actual required to do in the actual exam, let us know. And then you guys can just collaborate with another to tell you that. And of course, I will chime in too. Put it somewhere where they want you to put it. I put it here, but it can be anywhere they want. And make it executable, and that's done. That's step 1 done. Step 2, we need to create a systemd service unit, and of course, if you know a better or an easier way to do this, let us know in the comments below. I mean, then we know more than one method. That would be actually great. Cool. I'm going to create the systemd service unit script. So this is now a regular normal systemd service script to start as like a service. That's something we have done before. So I'm going to go to etc systemd system, and I already have created it. I don't remember the name. There it is. It's this guy here. It's right in the notes. So it's pretty basic script to start a service. So a unit, give it the name, service, type one shot. Don't worry too much about what the type is. One shot will work just fine. And then you just XX start, capital E, capital S, and the path for the script would just create it. Okay, bam, bam, get your pow, it's there. So basically it's a script you just created. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Cool. That's done. Save and quit. And then now the big thing is to create the actual timer script. So basically you just it's in the same location, okay? Exactly the same location, and exactly at the same spot. And you are going to check the file. What did I name it? It's there. It's that guy over there. And this is kind of the harder. I mean, none of this is especially hard. This is just kind of the juicy part. Just create the timer itself. So everything is done on the same folder. One is start service for the service. The other is start timer for the timer. And unit description equals the whatever you want to call it. I call it run my custom EX200 script on a schedule. Call it whatever you call it. Then timer. There are several ways you can do this. Okay. You can use more systemd timer specific stuff or more cron-like stuff. Use the one you prefer or you can remember. Check the main pages, or well, you don't have TLDR, but check the main pages. So you can do it hourly. If they ask you hourly, you are good to go. Daily at midnight, you're good to go. Or on a calendar date or a specific time or a recurring schedule. I mean, go and check the details. I'm not going to here to teach you all about how the schedules can be done here. You can check the RH124, RH134, my own training courses on this channel for more details, or check the main pages. But daily, you just type daily. Hourly, you just type hourly. In this case, for my own experimentation, it's I'm doing this every 3 minutes. It's an example. I can put every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes. Doing this in a in most systems, doing this in a less than 15-minute schedule like this one here on 3 minutes. In my system, in the Red Hat systems, it's kind of a time waster, because if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, by default these are run not close only in the shortest period. If it's every 15 minutes, every 15 minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong, but the most frequent time you can run the schedule on a timer, it's 15 minutes or more. Less than that, it will just not work unless you do some changes, of course. But in this example, I kind of went a little bit overboard, so I made sure that something was occurring, so I didn't have to wait too much. I was impatient. So every 15 minutes is quite enough. Shorter than 15, In most modern Red Hat systems, it will not work more frequent than 15. If you put 3, it will be every 15. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I am right. So here I have put 3 every 3 minutes. It will not occur every 3 minutes, but at least it will make sure that things are moving all about. Put 15 minutes every hour. In the exam, they're going to ask you how frequent it is. Just put the frequency they want. If they tell you every 3 minutes, put 3 minutes. And forget what I said about the shortest period being 15. If they say you every 3 minutes, put every 3 minutes and just move along. It's fine. Okay. Then you put persistent is true, and then this part here is kind of a I don't know if this total length is necessary, but I usually put it, which is the make sure that timers are working proper. It's to install the waited by timer.target. So I always put this when I do a custom timer, and always worked to put this section there. So just put it there. It will just work, and it will be just fine. That's step Step 3. Step 4, it's to actually reload everything. So just do a systemctl system reload. Since I am lazy, I'm going to copy paste my own notes to just reload the stuff, and then you enable the scripts. It's that easy. Okay, then you enable the script, and it was already enabled, but whatever the case, it's done. So this is the name of the file there. It's that one. Okay. Now, if you want to make sure that it's actually running, and you make sure that everything is up and running, you just delete it and grab your script, and it's there, fine. And then if you want or wish, you can even check the logs to make sure that things are on the up and up, and it's running as frequent as it can. As you can see, well, in this case, it's actually running every 3 minutes. So I was wrong. Forget what I said. I said what I said, but it's fine. So it's running every 3 minutes. Actually, it's actually running in every 3 minutes. 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So it actually runs every 3 minutes. I was under the assumption that things shorter than 15 would not run, but clearly I am wrong, and I don't mind being wrong and telling you that I'm wrong. So every 3 minutes will work fine, or even less, I suspect. So it's running pretty fine. So now you go to the while log, and you can check this, and it's there. And there we go. It's running, and it's looking quite happy and doing its thing every 3 minutes. That's about it. I'm going to put all the steps down below, of course, and so you guys can follow along and experiment in your own systems. Thanks for all the tips you guys have been giving me, so I can keep on helping everybody out, and everybody's being so helpful to one another. It really warms my heart and makes me really happy. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, helping everybody out, and everybody will just be successful together. Guys, this is now the long optimized version. Make sure you watch the first part with all the updated videos, with all the password recoveries and all that good stuff, and then you carry on to the second part, which is going to start right now, about the optimized better timings version of the original video. Enjoy.
If you want, put this at 2 times speed, and you can go through this even faster. But before we do that, let me give you a quick overview about what the exam is all about, okay? And then you can carry on for the first tasks. So basically, this is going to prepare you for the EX200 exam, Red Hat 9 or Red Hat 10. So this is going to get you ready for both exams. If things get updated, I will update the video series too. Don't worry. So basically, this is going to make you prepare, get ready for the exam for version 9 and version 10. I highly recommend you watch my video series before you do this, which is the RH124 and RH134. I have a complete playlist about that on my channel. Go and check it out, and you can get prepared for that. Then you come here and you see my exam questions, or my preparation exam for you guys. Okay. So before we do the first question, like I said, let's check some details. Okay. So this is going to be our EX200 practice exam. for the version 9 and version 10. So they score you in the basis of 0 to 300. So the maximum is that you can get is 300 points. I'm not sure how they grade this. Not every question has the same value. Okay, so you may have each question will get graded with different value. And my last video of the series is going to be more details about how can you execute the exam, the environments, and how can you schedule it, etc. But for now, you need to have 300 points. You have 2.5 hours to do the exam, and you have the passing score. You need to have a passing score of 17% or 210 points in 300 points. So you need to have around 70%. So you don't need to have 100% to pass, but 70% it's a quite high score and quite demanding. However, you still have some headroom to manage some questions you might find more difficult than others. Okay. Now please take care of the following. firewall and SELinux need to be enabled at all times. So don't try to resolve an issue by disabling firewall or SELinux. Okay. In theory, at least, firewall will not show to be a problem. You can work this out really well, especially if you check out my video series and also SELinux. So this is not going to be easy, but if you watch my video series, I assure you, you'll be ready to resolve questions about firewall or systemd really relaxed. Okay. They don't ask you a specific way how to sort the questions, how to resolve the questions. You can use the command line, you can use the TUI, you can use the GUI, whatever the case may be. If there is any software that is not installed that you think you're going to need to have it, you can install it at all times. So they don't care how you sort the questions. They really don't. They just want for the exercises or tasks to be executed as they instruct you to. So they don't care how you get there. You can use whatever method you want. However, I highly recommend for you to use the method that offers less complication. Okay, so throughout this video series, I'm going to execute some tasks, and some tasks are going to execute the most easy way. Okay, so that will just not create so many doubts. The easiest and the fastest way, because 2.5 hours it's really short. Okay, so if you make things faster, better for you, because you can release time to sort out questions that you might feel that are a little bit harder to you to sort out. So any type of time-saving measures and brain cell saving measures, it's a very welcome addition, and I'm going to show you guys how can you do that. The tasks can be executed in any order. They don't force you to execute in a specific order. You can do all the order you want, but some tasks actually have an order that is more logical. For example, if you need to install some packages, you need to configure the repo first. If you want to access a repo, you need to have a network up first. Okay, so even though they don't force you the order per se, some tasks actually require for you to do in the correct order, so it just works. Okay. All the names, IP addresses, host names, etc. in this practice exam may not match the real exam. So I'm just going to give you some examples in my environment, but the real exam should not go much different than this. But in this video series, it's going to be my own IP addresses, my own host names, so that it suits my environment. But in the exam should be much closer, very similar, and I'm sure you will be okay. Typically, you'll have two servers at your disposal. I'm going to call it server A and server B in my case, but it can be called anything throughout the exam. But that doesn't really matter that much, does it? So you need to mess with server A and server B. Some tasks will be on server A, some tasks will be on server B. It will be very clear on the instructions. You will have no doubt on which one needs to do what. Okay. In this case, I'm going to specify that too. So some questions are going to answer on server A, others on server B, but we'll deal with that when you get there. Okay. Sorry. So in the order to present, so basically some stuff was adapted. So that I already said that. So the names and some tasks are not exactly like the real exam, but they are a very close approximation. based on my experience and based with my student experience. So we constantly exchange notes and constantly discuss this, okay? And also this exact sample exam, it's going to have more questions than the real exam. So we're going to cover a wider spectrum that what the exam will require from you. So you can get the best perspective possible about the real exam. So here we're going to test much more tasks that on a real exam they will ask you. And there are no two equal exams. So John does the exam and Sylvie does the exam. Okay, they may end up answering different tasks. There is a bulk of there is a kind of core task list that everybody answers, but there are discrepancies between different people, different exams, but you get the most of it right here in this exam video series. Okay, so this is just a quick overview about what to expect throughout these videos. Again, I'm going to make one video per task and one big video in the end with all the tasks. This is what you're going to expect. So like, subscribe and comment, it really helps. And let's then carry on for task number 1. I see you there. So let's jump into the first question. So this is where we left off on the epilogue video. So this is the first question or the first task, okay? So they are going to ask you on server A and server B to configure the network. So server A and server B are going to have the network already configured, okay? So server A and server B are going to have the network already configured, but with the configuration that it will not work throughout the exam, okay? So need to configure the network as they request. Again, these IP addresses, subnet masks, etc. are my own, that they are convenient to me. It doesn't mean that throughout the exam it's going to be these numbers, okay? So it doesn't throughout the exam, they're not going to use these IP addresses, or they will. Maybe there's a big coincidence and they actually match. But the host name is going to be something they specify. The IP, you get the idea. So how do I suggest you to sort this out? So they're going to ask you these configurations. For example, in my case, server A is going to be 192.168.150 with the host name servera.lab.example.com. Server B is going to be called serverb.lab.example.com with the IP address 151, netmask 255.255.255. Well, you get the gist. So everything's here. So this is my suggestion for a solution. I'll jump in the console in a second. So I will use NM2E in this case. Okay, I'm going to use the NM2E. It's the simplest way. I can see the keyboard warriors, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you do whatever. So if you want to do it the hard way, do the hard way. I like to work smarter, not harder. So I will just use NM2E. And if it's not, only if it's not, it's very unlikely. But if it's not installed by default and at this point, without configuring the network, you don't have access to the repos, very unlikely not being installed, very unlikely. But if it's not installed, then you can go through the NM-CLI path. It's there how to make it. Go and check my video series. I've spent many minutes explaining how to use NM2E, NM-CLI, and NM-GUI. I even have a separate video series outside of the RH preparation. So I have many videos on my channel about the NM-CLI and NM2E. Go and check them out. But I actually suggest you guys to use the NM2E. It's most 99% possibility that it's installed. If it's not installed, then you can just go ahead and use the NM connection. So if you use NM-CLI, you'll modify the connection to the one they want you to. And don't worry if you make any mistakes. I'm going to use SSH in my case, but in your case, you will have direct console access to the server, so you don't actually need SSH per se. If you run into issues, if you have any problems, you actually can resort to the physical console in order to get that thing sorted. Okay, so if you jump into the terminal, okay. So I have here my server A. I'm going to get myself some root access. So don't worry about too much about the passwords. All the passwords you need, they will give you, okay? And if you don't know the root password of a specific server, there is a task down the line. I will not go through it right now, But I believe they're going to give you the root password for server A. They will not for server B, because on server B, they actually require you to do the password recovery process. Okay? That's all good, all fine. So in order to solve this, I'm going to use an M2E. In my case, I am not going to change the configuration because I want to keep it. That's the one that's convenient for me. But in your case, you will just do an M2E. You just edit the connection. It will have a profile. It doesn't have to be the exact as mine. Use the one they have there. Most likely it's going to be called ETH0. You add it. If it's HTTP, put it to manual. If it's manual with the wrong IP, you just fix the IP address, subnet mask, DNS servers, and all of that good stuff. You just go down there. IPv6, it's not required at this point. You click OK. You click back. You go here. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to lose connection. I don't want to do that. But you just, with the tab key, navigate here, deactivate, activate, and we are good to go. Okay? So basically you have your problem fixed. If you want to do the hard way, or not the hard way, but the NMCLI tool, just do an MCLI connection show. Okay, you will see what profile is there. So leave LO alone. You don't touch an LO. Look back. So an MCLI connection modify. You specify the profile name, and from there on, you just do the IPv4 address. You put in the IP address they want. I'm not going to press enter at the end because I want to keep the configuration I have right now. /24 IPv4 gateway, and use the tab key. It should work and it should be okay. 192.168.1.1 and IPv4 DNS 192.168. In my case, I forget it's a 100. I would hit enter. You hit. I'm going to put this as a comment here. You do this, hit enter. I'm adding it as a comment. Don't put the comment in the beginning in the exam. You need to execute this. I'm going to use the comments just to make my life easier here. Then you just do an MCLI, connection reload, and the profile name. Connection reload ENS 160. And everything should be okay. You just confirm like this, or confirm like this, or confirm like this, and you check the configurations on server A. Do this on server A and do this on server B. If you want to be sure, reboot the server. All the answers, all the exam questions need to be permanent, which means that when I do an exam, make sure that everything survives a reboot, and you should be good to go. Just make sure everything survives a reboot, either being network configuration, partition management, disk management, whatever the case, wherever the task you are executing, make sure it survives a reboot. Okay? Then ping something, for example, let's say nfs.lab, or example, in my case, .com. In your case, configure server A and server B and ping both. And everything is just working fine. And we have completed our first task. Congratulations. You will have a few points on our exam, so can carry on with confidence. Okay, so we have sorted the network thingies, so let's go to the next one. So configured repositories are available at the repo server at blah 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 blah. So the repo server is going to be which the configure server you are going to use. It will depends on the exam there, but this information they will give you. In my case, this is going to be my own local repos. But that's fine. That doesn't matter. The URLs, they're going to give you the URLs. That's fine. You just need to configure the repos and make them work. Okay, so let's just go there. Cool. Now, just make sure I need to do this on server A and server B. At this point, you should have. At this point, it depends on the exam itself. So at this point, no, I'm not sure if you have access to server B already. Maybe they will give you access to server B to a question down the line. So maybe you don't have access to server B just yet. Okay. So you need to just skim the order of the exam and check when server B comes into play. But when you reach server B, you most likely need to also configure the repos. So bear this in mind. So when you reach the time we're going to interact with server B, you will need also actually need the repos configured on server B. So if you get to server B and you need some packages that you're not able to retrieve, and the network is okay, that's because you did not do the repo thing on server B too. So just relax. If you reach server B and you need packages, it's just because it's either a problem on the network, just review it. If the network is fine, then just configure access to your repos, because I'm going to do on both right now, but throughout the exam, you might need to do it on different periods of the exam. First server A, then down the line, server B. Okay? Just breathe. Okay? So let's make sure it's not working. They're not working. So let DNF search, for example, HTTPD. Anything will do. No message found. DNF repo list. And no repos available. That's fine. So just navigate to etc repos.t. Most likely on your exam, the folder is going to be empty. Okay? It's fine. Just breathe. It's normal during the exam. Just build a new file called something.repo, exam.repo, for example. And now just build your stanzas. Go and check my videos about this topic. I have multiple videos about repositories. Go and check them out. Base URL equals will I have the possibility to copy paste? Maybe I can't, but let me try. Nope, no possibility to copy paste. Or am I using the wrong tool here? Nope, copy paste not possible. That's fine. Oh yeah, it is possible. I am just not thinking with the full brain at this point. So I'm saving so much time to copy paste. Maybe I just don't save that much time. It's fine. Okay, enable it equals 1, GPG check equals 0. So this is our base OS. Cool. But if you remember correctly, on the questions they want the base OS and they want the app stream, which is fine. So just you could build exam1.repo file and exam2.repo file. You can have two repo files, one for a base OS, or the other for app stream. But I really advise you to put on the same, but whatever the case, whatever works for you. Okay? They just don't give a shit. App stream, if it works, it works. Okay, name. I'm going to put that in lowercase, not because it's going to make any harm, but it's just my own need. Upstream, obsession base URL. Okay, let me just copy from here. Oh, I miscopied the first one. I almost did the typo. Okay, so this is not app stream. This is base OS. And I'm missing the equal sign here. Enable it equals 1, GPG check equals 0. All right, cool. Looks fine. Looks fine. Write and quit. Now can do a DNF repo list. Use whatever order you prefer. Okay, I'm doing like this, but whatever. Okay. Now you can just do, I don't know, DNF search, HTTPD. It's skimming the repos. It's looking good. And there we have it. I'm going to do the install, but I'm going to say no. Just to have some peace of mind. Looks fine so far. And I said yes because I'm stupid. It's okay. I could delete it, but I'm going to leave it as it is. Just don't install it if they don't request you to, but if you do, it's no harm done either. So I said yes, I wanted to say no. It's just muscle memory, it's fine. So let's just get this exam.repo here and let's add it to server B right now. Again, throughout the exam, we will, maybe the order will be not exactly this one repos wise, Maybe you need to add the repo later when you troubleshoot the server's B password, but at this point I'm going to do it now just to save some brain cells later. Fine. Okay. So here I have more files than I actually need. So let me delete the default ones here because they will not be present during the exam. You should just have your own. Just this one. So DNF clean all and repo list. Perfect. So just don't forget that server B may just come into play later on, and you may need to add the repos at server B later in a later phase, not right now. So I have installed HTTPD. I didn't want it to do that. It's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. These machines are going to be reset after I film all these videos, so we are good to go. So where is my camera? There. Cool. So this was question what? Question 2, adding repositories to our exam servers. So this question number 3, it's all about SELinux and firewall, especially SELinux. What am I about to do? I'm just going to set things up so that you guys can see what the issue is and how to resolve it. They will have in exam all the stuff already kind of on the go, ready to go on the go. But I'm going to install the software they will install, and I'm going to act like they would, so you can see the issue occurring, and you will understand better the solution. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go to the console here. So I'm going to set enforce permissive. Don't do this on the exam, okay? You need to fix stuff and not disable stuff. Systemctl stop firewall D. Okay? You need to fix stuff, not disable stuff. All the things need to work with SELinux up and firewall up too. Okay? So don't disable stuff just to make things work. I'm going to do this just to show you the issue occurring so you better understand the fix. You can go back to my video series and I'll talk much more about all of SELinux throughout that video series. So let's go to var www.html, and I'm going to do echo EX200 exam, for example, to the index.html file. Okay, so this is just a bog standard thing to do. A bog standard thing to do just to make sure that everything works. Okay, maybe my server was not started, and there you have it. So it's working, okay, with the IP we configured in the first tasks, and it's working fine. Okay, so no big of a deal here. Now I'm going to kind of force the issue here, and the main issue here is we're going to use port 82 and not port 80 like the default thing is, whatever the case. Now I need to put my server to be listening at port 82. I have some notes here. You can create a virtual server, or just reconfigure the default website, make things a little bit faster. I'm going to change the default website. I need to add that note here, which is fine. You can just change the default website listening. I didn't put here, but I will add it later. It's fine. So let's do that. So let's go etc. Or did I? No. httpd conf.d httpd.conf httpd.conf. We find for listen. I don't remember the case here. There it is. Oh, it was there. I just pressed escape like a stupid person. But there we go. And you want port 82. Okay. Watch and quit. Restart the service. Yeah, you can't restart it. It's a little bit brutal, but it just works in the exam. It's fine. It has restarted, which means that this probably is not working anymore. But if you add port 82, it's working. Okay, so port 82 confirmed. It's working great. Right? Right. Now let's re-enable set enforcing, and the site still works because the server was reloaded with SELinux down. If you systemctl, restart HTTPD. This should now fail, and the web server is not working. Okay, so confirmed that the issue is occurring. So the main goal here is to fix the issue, and disabling SELinux does not fix the issue. I mean, well, it fixes it, but that's not how they want it. So we need to first get some tools going. You can get you don't really need the policy core utils. You can install them if you want. You just need to install the policy core utils if SEmanage is not available. Okay, so let's see. SEmanage. Yeah, in my case it's installed, but if you want to be sure, it doesn't hurt to add more software. It doesn't hurt to add more software. It hurts to have less software. Okay. Portanto, so it hurts. Portanto, so it hurts to have less software. It doesn't hurt to have extra software. They don't really give a shit. So DNF install +y policy, what the name, core utils, policy core utils, I forgot the thingamajiggy. So I'll just did a cut here, so guys don't have to endure all the time for this to install. So it's installed. The tools are installed. Tools. It's been a long day. Okay, so things are still not working. Okay, because we have not fixed the issue yet. So all we have to do now, like it was easy. All we have to do now is to create an exception on the on SELinux, so that port 82 is actually acceptable. It's basically this. You just need to do this on the SELinux and that on a firewall, and we should be perfectly okay with that, with everything. Sorry about the blip. And then we can go here. I'm getting contact for work, which is nice. Okay, let's do this. So SEmanage port -a -t HTTPD port T TCP 82. What did I mistype something? SEmanage port -a -t SEmanage port -a -t HTTPD port T-P TCP 82. Okay. Type HTTP port is invalid. Must be a port type. So again, I mistyped something either on the console or my notes. SEmanage. I did it all by head. So SEmanage port -a -t HTTPD port T-P TCP 82. The port is invalid. Must be a port type. HTTPD port T. Port T. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do SEmanage port -l grep HTTPD. Yeah, I put the D there. I do this mistake every single time. It's not HTTPD, it's HTTP. Since I'm already here with my hands, let me edit the master file. And it's HTTP, not HTTPD. HTTP, not HTTPD, and it's not Perl, it's port. You guys cannot imagine the amount of times I proofread this and I didn't catch that. So as you can see, in and out, man smanage minus port. You go back there to the and you have a lot of examples, okay? And the example here, it's actually regarding Apache, the web server, okay? So there I have it. You just go to the you just go to the man page, and you can actually copy paste the solution. How cool is that? So I have fixed my doc file. I need to re-export. I need to re-export my PDF, and I made a second typo here because I'm stupid. So this is wrong. This is not Relish type. This is wrong. Okay, you get the idea. Cool. Now this should not work yet. Okay, because I haven't restarted the service yet. But let's re-enable the firewall. Okay, it's re-enabled, and systemctl, restart, HTTPD. Now the service started successfully because we have made the exception, but this is not going to work because the firewall is not there yet. So let's add the firewall exception, firewall, cmd, -- add port 82/TCP. -- permanent systemctl firewall cmd -- reload, and immediately it started to work. All right, so the main thing here, it's not the installation. I went to the long way just to show you the problem so you can better understand the solution. But the solution was as simple as do the smanage to create the exception for the port you specify. In this case, I specified port 82, but it can be another one, but 82 is very common. Then you just create the exception on the firewall, and you should be good to go. If you have any doubts here, because yes, it's a very long command, I understand that. Go to the main page, scroll down to the example sections, and you should have there a good example specifically tailored for HTTP. Let's go. So this is question 4 or task 4, which is create the following users, groups, and add users to the groups, blah, 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 blah. You kind of know what this is going to, okay? This is all on server A, unless something or someone tells you differently. You should do, most likely all these first tasks are going to be on server A. We should switch to server B when you troubleshoot the root's password on server B, and all the rest of the tasks should be on server B. Okay? But don't worry, they are very clear telling you on which server to do what. No, there will be no doubts about that. Okay? So I'm going to then check the instructions, create the following users, groups, and users, and blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. Okay? So they want to create a group called admin. Okay? So group add admin, that's fine. The user Harry, that belongs to the admin group. User Natasha, who belongs to them. Oh, these are actually names from the real exam. I remember them. Also, my students do also. So they are just real names. So you can do whatever way you prefer. You can create a user and add it to the group later. Blah, whatever. I'm going to do the easy way. User adds -G. My keyword is not load keys. PT. Okay, user adds -G. Why is still on the wrong? Is my physical PC with the wrong keyboard layout? Yes, it is. Okay, -G. Admin Harry. So this is going to create Harry, and he's going to belong to the admin group. And Natasha will also be okay. Natasha. This doesn't have to be 100% equal to the exam. You just need to get the mechanics down. Okay, cool. They have here Sarah does not have access to the interactive shell. So basically, it's them saying basically it's them saying that we need to Natasha cannot log in interactively, which means they should have the ASP.NET no login shell. You can create the user first and change the properties after. So let's go user add. It doesn't really matter how you do it. It just needs to, in the end, just needs to be as they want. How to get there? They don't give a shit, Sarah. User add. Oh. No login. Oh, see, already exists. That's fine. You just edit the passwd file, find Sarah, and you just fix it. So no big of a deal. It's fine. No login. It's fine. All right. All users must have the password. On the exam, they're probably going to ask a different password, but whatever. So passwd, use whatever process you like, okay? Don't smash the keyboard saying, I would do this, I would. It's fine. Whatever, man. Whatever. There are faster ways. Yes. Do I care? No. Do I know the other ways? Yes. Do I care? No. I don't care, man. It's done. It works. Everybody has a correct password, so chill. Cool. If just in case, ID Harry, ID Sarah, Natasha. Everything's working fine with the correct passwords. You can, if you really want to be anal, and you just check the files. Okay. So basically, that's what you did. Create the following users, and the passwords are there. Everybody belongs. Harry belongs to the admin group. Natasha belongs to the admin group. Sarah doesn't have the no login. Has a no login shell, which means it doesn't have interactive access. Everybody has the correct passwords, and we are done. So question 5 or task 5 is create a directory for collaboration named common admin and configure it as follows. So this is I just made up. I don't really remember but the same thing. And this is actually accurate. So the group owner of the directory is a group admin. The directory should be readable, writable, and accessible to the members of admin, and no other. Root is root. So you know that root is root, so leave root out of this, okay? New files created must belong to the admin group. Okay, the group owner must be at the admin group that you just created on previous task. The directory should be readable, writable, and accessible to the members of the admin, and no others. Root is root. New files created must belong to the admin group. So this is group ID, right? And all the rest is pretty obvious. So this is a very close approximation of what the exam will be. I hope this preps you and you have success on your certification career. Cool. Let's start by creating the directory mkdir -p and what I call it, common admin. Cool. Now let's give it to the admin group. Change group admin common admin. That's done. And the directory should be readable, writable, and accessible to the members of the admin group and no others. Root is root. Cool. So chmod 770, for example. This will just fulfill the needs they want. Common admin. And chmod g+s/common admin. Cool. So ls -l. Okay, there you go. It's it's perfectly fine. And the common, it's also great. Load the common. Where is it? There it is. There it is. Okay, so let's go there. It's empty, so let's touch EX200 exam. ls-l, and there we go. So the admin group, it's the actual owner, like they do nil file created on the admin group. And everything is just as they expect it to be. That one either. This one here. Let's go. So here we have to on question 6 or task 6, we're going to deal with Autofs. Okay, so Autofs it's our auto mounter. Again, I'm not going to teach you at this point what Autofs is. I'm just going to show how to resolve the question. But if you want to check my playlist, the 134 and 124, you can check it out, and I explained everything there. So let's use the Autofs to auto mount a file system, and this is going. They ask you to basically mount 2 folders on the same NFS server, the public and the private folder. Public needs to be read-only and the private read-write role, or it can be the other way around. It doesn't really matter at this point. So one is going to be read-only, though the other one read-write, but it will depend on the situation. You just read the question and do accordingly. And they need to be they get mounted with a 30-second timeout. Okay, I forgot. I remember clearly when I did my exam for the 5th time to forget to add the 30 seconds timeout thingy-majiggy. I had full marks, but don't be me. At the perimeter, it takes you 2 seconds, so there is no actual excuse for not to do it. Okay, I say here this is a wild card, meaning not everybody gets it, which means that this is not going to show to everyone. So some people get this question, some people don't, but might as well get prepared for it to pop. So let's go to server A. Let's get some root access. Okay. So the easy way to go around is you can just install the minimal packages for things to work, or you can just go full bore and just use what you need. So I went full bore and installed all the NFS stuff and installed all the Autofs stuff. It's a little bit overkill, but just might as well do it. So install all the NFS stuff, install the Autofs stuff, and you have all the client tools and all the server tools, whatever. It's a little bit on overkill maybe, but it's not that bad. You just use what you need, and in the exam they just don't care. Okay, you just need to make things work accordingly. Now this is how I do it. So I create a directory called automount /private. I mean, I don't want to do this directory. It's on instructions, right? So just follow the instructions. Public. Okay, and this is the first part. If you remember correctly, in the questions they actually explicitly said that. Okay, so it need to be mounted on the automount directory. So it's here. Okay, so it's going to be automount private, automount public, and it should be okay. So they tell you everything in the instructions. Just follow along. Okay, then you just go to the vim etc what is called auto.master. Yeah, auto.master. This is writing the Autofs. Again, go check my videos about that. You can put this in anywhere. Okay, so let's add something like, I don't know, let's put it like this. Okay, sure. So it works. Automount, and it's going to have a file called auto.automount. So the way we configure this, it's a little bit archaic, a little bit old school, but it just works. It's fine. Don't forget the minus timeout equals 30. Okay, so for the 30-second thing they ask. And let me think a bit. Yeah, this is pretty enough. You can just drop everything else on the file. Cool. Now you just edit the etc auto.auto mount. You just not created, but we just specified auto mount. Yep. And then you just add the two folders. So public was read-only, right? You can add the sync. Then you just specify the server nfs.lab.example.com column public, and you just copy paste for a little bit easier, and just paste this, and private. Okay, read only. I mean read write in this case, and this is the private. So I just noticed a typo here. If you are following along on my PDF, I say public and it's not public. So let me fix the master file here before I forget. And it's public private, okay. And also DNF install. Oops. DNF install Autofs. Cool. So I have I'm just fixing my master file here, and it looks pretty cool. I just need to fix something here. Column. Let's pull this up a little bit. And we're good. Okay, my master file is fixed. Let's carry on. We save and quit. All good. Now, in order to make things work, if you want to make sure that that specific NFS server is working, you can do show mount -e nfs.lab.example.com. You should see the private and public shares. They are there. Perfect. So this is what you get from the nf install nfs asterisk, okay, star, and you get this tool. So might as well use it. You don't have control. You don't have control over the NFS server itself. You just control. You can check the shares, but you don't have control over the server itself. Okay. Now on the client side, ctl --. Now enable Autofs. So it started and enabled, so it looks to be okay. And I believe we are, well, ready to test. So let's do cd auto mount. cd private. There we go. cd public. There we go. The folders are empty, so I don't actually remember if they had something there during the exam. Probably they will, but it's mounted, it's perfectly fine, it's working, and it's perfectly done. So our task is done. Everybody can use the auto mount to mount the private and public folders, and that's task 6 done. Cool. So question 7, not this one, that one. So question 7 is about Cron. And they want us to use user Harry to create a EX200 message at midday or something along these lines. So it's something similar to this, okay? And the second part is Natasha cannot use Cron tab, okay? Sure, let's do this. So let's get some Harry access. Perfect, I am Harry now. Now just do Cron tab -e, and let's add the 30 minutes, midday, star, oops, and star, /bin, /echo, hello. That's all we need here to Harry. Fine. So let's review the question. It seems too easy to be true, right? I understand you. So you just go to Harry, and they just I did hello, but I said here EX200. I mean, I can fix the master file, and that's the EX200. That's fine. If you want to be picky, you can just make things accordingly. EX200, and we're done. You didn't see that, but I just edited my Cron tab so it has EX200 and not hello, just to make things cleaner. It will matter nothing. It just matches my file. That's that. Next, you want to deny Natasha the use of Cron tab. Fine. So just go back to root. Go to the cron.deny file. You add Natasha, and we are done. See? So Harry has scheduled a task for midday midday with some message. They may ask you something different from the echo, but it should be something similar to the echo. So no big of a deal. Second part, you just deny Natasha the Cron tab. So just go to the Cron deny, add Natasha's name, and she's denied. This one is a doozy. This one is a long one, okay? Which takes some time, but it's not. I'm not going to say it's easy because nothing in life is easy, but it's doable, okay? So it's just long, and you need some patience to do that. So let's just check the instructions. This is basically requesting you to use ACLs. It's long and boring, but doable. Okay, so copy the file to there, and this is a set of instructions to do one by one on that file. So let's do one step at a time. So let's copy this file there and make sure that the root is the owner. This is the easy part. Okay, so let's copy cp etc fs tab /var_temp. Now we go to there. Let's confirm the file is here. Yeah, ls -la fs tab. I need to go to temp. ls -la fs tab. So let's go back here. So yeah, the root is the owner, should be, and this is done because this is the default. This only goes wrong if something goes wrong, so everything's fine. File is not executable by no one. The file is not executable by no one. I mean, do I have to do anything? I don't think I can. So it's not executable by no one. So let's go back to this one to make sure that at the end nobody can execute. I put here a note to come and check. So it is as it is. Harry can read and write the file. Okay, fine. So let's go and do the set FSAL modify user Harry. What did I say? Can read and write. Okay, read and write the FS tab file. So that's basically it. Next one is Natasha can do nothing. Well, he cannot read and write, and she could not execute by this directive, so she can do nothing. Fine. Set FSAL modify user Natasha. And if you want to specify nothing, you just add --. So she can do nothing because nobody can execute. She cannot read and write, so he has no permissions whatsoever. So let's just say this is done. This is done. Everybody else, users that exist and OWL can read the file. So I think that's basically done, because if you do get FSAL, it's exactly that. Everyone else that exists can read the file. So everybody can read the file because the others can read the file. So that's basically it, right? I mean, I'm seeing this and I feel it's too easy maybe, but it's all done. So let's check again. Root it's done. Yeah, correct. The user and group it's done. Root belongs to root. Is not executable by no one. Yeah, nobody has execute. Nobody has execute, so that's fine. Harry, can you then write the file? Yep, Harry can write the file. And Natasha cannot do nothing. Natasha cannot do nothing. And everybody else can read now and in the future. Yep, it looks to be okay. Following. So next they ask all about NTP. Okay, configure the system to be the client of NTP, and well, basically you need to make sure that your server is client of a specific NTP server. I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use another one, but might as well. It's the same thing. It doesn't really matter. So let's go to this one here. So let's start installing by DNF install the Cron stuff. This should take no long. It's already installed. Perfect. Next, you go to the etc crony.conf stuff, crony.conf file. You have here this one here. I will comment this one out on the exam. If you have others, you can just comment everybody else out. So do the server. I'm not going to put the one on the instructions. I'm going to put a different one because it's more convenient for me, but you can do whatever. Well, on the exam, not whatever. Just specify the ones they add there and iBurst. Cool. This should be enough for this purpose. So just do the server itself, iBurst. They give you the server name or IP address during the exam, so it's fine. Everything else, you don't need to touch anything else. You are good to go. So then you go do systemctl, restart crony d, and you should be okay. So just go to crony.conf, you add this one. Let's just review this really quick. Yeah, looks to be okay. iBurst, fine. You restart systemctl, restart crony d.service, looking good. And then you check with crony c sources. You see our server there. We are synchronizing with the NTP server like they mentioned, and we should be okay. So that was question 9, configuring an NTP client to connect to an NTP server. Just a note, okay, just before you go, just a note. Sometimes I type instead of crony C, I type crony D. It's just kind of muscle memory of mine. If you see this, don't worry, you just mistype the command. It's not crony D, it's crony C. Okay, that much so that in my notebook on my PDF I have crony D. I have fixed the master file already, so I don't make this mistake again. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, I fixed my file so I don't have to make that mistake again. So once again, it's crony C, not crony D. If you type crony D and you see that error, it's crony C. I make that mistake many times too. Question is, it's about find and copy files. Okay, it's all about finding and copying files, and they say something around these lines: find all files greater than 4 megabytes on the etc directory and copy them to some folder. Okay, so I have here things already ready. So don't forget to do mkdir that folder. I already done that to make just, but I can do it again. mkdir -p find large files. It's already there. Okay, but it's all good. And you just type this. Okay, I'm going to remove the comment. I already pre-typed it to make sure I have no typos, just so you don't see me here hunting for errors. But find, where to find, type is file, size is bigger than 4 megabytes, and they execute the command. The command is copy what is found to this folder. Okay, be careful while doing this because you need to add this. You need to add the spaces and all of that. So this is kind of a pain if you mistype something and you need to find the problem. Most likely the order is not how Find like you to have. So make the type F and size before the exec. Okay, especially type F and the size at this order. Then you just copy the file to there. It's not hard. It's just very sensitive to the order and all of that. So it's not hard. It's just it needs to be. You need to see the specific order of the parameters on this order, or else it just throws a fit. It's not hard. Just focus. If you see an error, just try again. So type F for file size megabytes exec. This is a space there. This is a space here. This is a space here, and you should be good to go. Just breathe. I'm sure you'll do fine. Let's see. Create a new user with user ID 6969 GigD. Of course, they are not going to the exam saying 6969 or GigD. That's just my own take. Okay. So, and the user is called Billy. Fine. So it's just user add minus u 6969 Billy. Give it a password of password like they ask you. Passwd Billy. Password. And you just need to cat etc passwd grab for Billy. And there you go. Billy has been created with the ID 6969. Good on you. So the question is, create an archive, backup and compress the RTM folder to this file. Main takeaway, it's the GZ. GZ means that you use the /z or -z or -z to get the Z compressed file. Okay, let's do this. I have this already. So just do tar, okay? Z is for the GZ. Check the main page if you need to create a different compressed file, like capital J. But check the main page, everything's there. C is create, V is for verbosity, F is to specify the file name and what to compress. Just do this and looks okay. So now we just check the file is there, okay? If you want to test, it's a tar test file, am I right? Yep. And this is the contents of the file. If you want to make sure, you can just do this. And yeah, everything's there. FS tab is there, the folders are there and their contents. There we go. The file is created and it's ready to go and ready to be sent for grading. Let's check the next one. Check next one is it's question 13 about permissions. Basically, it's about the UMask, okay? So they say something like this. New files created by Natasha have this permission as default. New dirs by Natasha have this by default. So in order to get all the juice out about the UMask stuff, go and check my playlists, my 124 and 134, okay? Because I have there a video all about file permissions and the UMask, it's detailed there. So I'm not going to detail all the UMask stuff. I'm going directly to the point, okay? And show you how it's done. So this is what we want. New files are like this. New directories need to show like this. So new files, and this needs to be a permanent change. So don't forget that all the changes need to be permanent. So basically, you just log in as Natasha. There are other ways to do this, but I like to log in as a user. Okay. You will just edit the .bash profile file and just add something like you can add the comments to just for cosmetics, UMask stuff. Not needed, but it looks nice. And UMask 0277 should be good enough. So UMask, let's see the UMask right it is right now 0022. Okay, you log off, we log on. Now we have a new UMask to be specified. And this UMask will just have that expected result, which was or is new files get these permissions, new directories get these permissions. Okay? So if you want more details about all details about the UMask, go and check my playlists, and I talk about the UMask to death over there. So go and check it out. But this will just make things work for the time being. Next question, which is the password for new users in server.laptop.com must expire after 20 days. So for new users, okay? So let's check it out. So let's go to the root user. Whoopsie. Let's go to the root user. Nice. Let's go to the etc login.tabs file. Again, check my playlist. I talk about this a lot. And you can just find if the perimeter is there. Yep, it's there. So let's just find that thing out there. You can just change. I like to create a copy, back it up, and pass max days. Now it's 20. and we save and quit. Okay, let's check a current user, Natasha, for example. Okay, that's what you get, 9999, and let's continue user adds test L test and 20 days, as you can see. Okay, so can leave the, if you, for example, if you create a test user like this one, you can just leave it there. They won't care about that way to just any not that much. Next question, which is 15. So 15 questions. 15 is about the admin group can use sudo without password. Okay, the admin group can use sudo without password. Okay, so let's get that done. So you can use vi sudo or whatever, or edit a file directory. I'm going to edit the file directory because I'm like that. Okay, so go somewhere here. We should be able to use something similar. Let me see. Yeah, we can just use this one as a reference. It's a comment, but it's good enough for us. So it's read on the file. I know. Leave me alone. So the admin group can use all, and that's pretty much it. Now this will allow the admin users group to use all commands without a password. Save and quit. You're done. Check it out. So create a bash script for something like this. I don't remember all the details, of course. Nobody. It's something like this. Create a script called go find that find files on the USR shared directory that are smaller than 1 megabyte and put them on the root find directory. Okay, so let's create a directory mkdir /p root find and create the script. I have the script already created, so you save some time here. So just put the shebang there. It's not mandatory, but I like to put it. And you just need to do something like this. Find on the shared directory, type file, smaller than 1 megabyte, and copy to the root find directory. Okay? Then we set the permissions, and we execute the file, the script. Okay? Now you should have on the find directory all the results. Okay, let me show you the file, the script again. There you go. Get out. So the next one is 17, which is to reset the root password on server B. So we don't know the password on server B. We just need to reset the passwords to some password they want us to use. I will use a password Red Hat just to simplify, but just specify the password they ask you to specify. Okay. So I have many videos on my channel about resetting the root password on Red Hat, many videos. I will not discuss in detail how it's done because I have many videos there, but I will just show you how it's done really quickly without details. If you want details, just go check those videos. So first of all, you restart your machine, the machine in question, okay? And you break for the grub. And now I was a little bit too hasty. Okay. Oh, damn it, I was already there. And you need to stop at the grub. It depends. God damn it. I'm being too hasty. There we go. And I pressed the wrong key. I pressed the enter key because I'm stupid. Okay. So you get here, and on the exam you have tools like reset, reboot, everything like a normal virtualization server. So you will be able to have all the power off, power on, reset, restart. So you are good to go. So you break here, you just press the E key. You add at the end of this line, the rd dot break, and you press Ctrl X to boot. And then you just wait. I will not make any cuts here, so you guys just see everything. So we drop on a switch root. Next, you do the mount -O remount /rw sysroot chroot /sysroot. Since we are already root, you just do passwd, set the new password, and just don't forget to do the touch auto relabel, or else the server will not boot. Exit, you wait, and this part on the exam is quite stressful because usually the exam machines, they're not very powerful, so they can be a little bit slow at points, at moments. These mines are not especially quick, but they are quicker than the exam situation there. You just need to wait, be patient. In the exam, it's possible that at this point you will see a black screen and not some text like you are seeing here. Okay, so you may see some black screen occurring. So just need to be patient and just wait for things to occur. So my machine is not the slowest, but it's not the fastest, and it will take a little bit. It's progressing, it's rebooting, and you should be able then to see the machine booting as normal, and you will just be able to log into your server like normal. Okay, I'm not giving you any cuts, just so you guys to see a situation that can occur. Just be patient, guys, okay? If you're in the exam, sometimes the machines are even slower than mine. And mine is not that slow, but it takes a while. Now we're back at the login stage. We can just test really quick. And we have control over server A. Now the next questions on the next tasks are going to be regarding server A. So let's check the next question or task, call it whatever you want to call it. So on server B, create a 512 megabyte swap partition. Okay, that's all they ask. That's all they want, which is fine. Okay, so let me see what disks I have. I have managed I end up configuring SDs. Okay, so once again, I have many videos about partitioning and swap files, swap partitions, etc. in my channel. Go check it out for all the details. But for now, let's do a swap partition here for the exam's sake. So let's, for example, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Let's use SDA for this. I mean, why not? So let's go to SDA. And of course, I mistyped the password because I'm a dum-dum. There we go. Cool. So let's do this again. So let's use SDA. I mean, why not? So fdisk /dev SDA. So before we continue, probably during the exam you will have a disk like this one, which is the boot disk where the root file system is and all of that already is. I highly advise you not using the system disk for doing this kind of stuff. You're going to have questions about swap partitions, LVMs, and other stuff. So to avoid using the system disk for that, if you can. I'm sure they will give you extra disks. I'm not sure how many disks, but you have extra disks and use those. Don't use the system disk, so because we are only human, errors can happen. It's very unlikely you do a very damaging or crippling mistake, but it can happen. So avoid that. So I'm going to use SDA. You will have extra disks during the exam too, so don't worry. So here we have it. So I'm going to create a partition. It's going to be a primary partition. So new partition, primary partition. It can be number 1. It's fine. We can start here, and they want a 512 meg. Here we go. Here it is. Print, and it's there. Fine. Now you change the type for swap, which is 82. and we print. There we go. We write. Here we go. Everything's okay. So if you get this message, everything you are good. You're cool. If you get cannot synchronize blah blah blah, just you can use part probe, but I would advise you to reboot just to make sure. Simple. Okay, so LSBLK. We have SDA1 there. Cool. So mkdir. I'm sorry. mk swap. So /SDA1. Okay, cool. Now we just add this to the FS tab. So you can add the dev SDA, or you can add the UUID. Take your pick. It's the same shit. I will add the UUID just to be fancy, or you can add just the dev set the /dev SDA. It's the same shit. So etc FS tab. I'll add the UUID just to look fancy. Okay, I'm going to add a new section here. You don't have to edit the comment. This is just me being me. They will just don't care. But if you have time, it looks nice. So we already have a swap partition there. Okay, so you can just follow along or just do swap defaults 0 swap on activate status. It's there. So our SDA is added. Okay, it's on the FS tab, which means that it's going to be loaded permanently at every reboot. So if this works, the subsequential reboots also work. However, I advise you, not highly, but I do advise you to, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of the exam, just do a quick reboot to make sure that the reboot survives on server A and server B. Because the first things they do before grading your exam is reboot both servers. So reboot it yourself. If the reboot goes fine, then you should be fine also on the long run. Let's go. So question 19 is about, or task 19, call it, well, what you want. Create logical volume named database. Logical volume named database. I also have many views about logical volumes. Go and check it out. Create a logical volume called database. It should be on the data store volume group. 50 extent size formatted with EX3. Data store must have an extent size of 8 megabytes. Okay. So the data store, which is the volume group, needs a 50 extent size, and the extent size needs to be 8 megabytes. Okay, which means we will make the math in a few seconds. Mount persistently on the MNT database mount point. So the math is, if you do 50 times 8, you get 400 megabytes. So in theory, a 400 megabyte partition should be good enough. But then you are just cutting things very short. Let's give us some headroom and some breathing room and make it bigger. I'm going to suggest 2 gigabytes, which is fine to house a 400 megabytes thingy-majiggy. But since we don't really know exactly, because I have not shown you yet what comes next, maybe we need some space added or later. So let's just create something with a little bit of headroom, and I'll suggest 2 gigabytes. So let's use STB for this. So fdisk /dev STB. This should be empty at this point, which it is. Okay. So let me see. Let me think a little bit. Sure, let's do new partition, primary partition number 1. I can start here, plus 2 gig. Print. There it is. We just changed the type to 8E, which is LVM. We print. It's there. We save. Cool. So the partition exists. With 2 gigabytes, it's more than we actually need for this, but give it some headroom. So it says it's STB1. So now we will create, we do prv create /dev SDB1. So I highly advise you to check all the questions about partitioning so you can see how can you manage the available space throughout all the questions. So you say, okay, I'm going to need 4 partitions. How many disks do I have? So plan ahead before you actually dive into executing the questions, because you might have to undo stuff to get to find space for other stuff. So check the questions. Here I'm going to share with you all the possible questions about partitioning that we may encounter. But scan the exam, especially after you do the password recovery in server B, and you see all the questions about partitioning and see what so can actually manage. PV create no device / dev stb1. Cool. I must have mistyped something in the previous command. I don't SBD. Okay, I type SBD, not STB. Nice, cool. So I do a PVS. Oh, I'm sorry. I do a PVS, and it's showing me this was already there. Ignore it. This is the one we just created, so we have 2 GB to play with. Cool. Now let's create a volume group. VG create. And it's going to be, what was the extent size? I forget. 8. Okay, cool. So small s, it's extent size. 8 times 8 megabytes. It's going to be called data store. And it's going to be on the STB2. Again, I made the same mistake. STB2. Oh, STB1. It's the B disk. Never mind. Because it's, why did I type 2? I don't know. I have problems maybe. So yeah, it's STB1. I have created. So let's check with VGS. Yeah, VGS does not give me details about the extent size. So let's do VG scan. Also no, and VG display. So this is just me showing you all the three possibilities: VGS, VG scan, VG display. And the display is going to show you the extent size. So this is the one who created, and extent size is 8 megabytes. So perfect. That's exactly what you want. And I want to create the logical volume with 50 extents. Cool. So let's do LV create. Lower L, it's exactly that. Extents, capital L, it's megabytes, gigabytes, and that stuff. Database on data store. So basically, I'm using 50 extents of the data store volume group to create the database logical volume. So LVS C 400 megabytes. So my initial math actually it actually confirms. You only need 400 megabytes, which is 50 times 8. So we have some headroom here, but it's fine. We may need it later. So what they want to mount this on the MNT database. Cool. So mkdir MNT MNT database, and we can go directly to alias BLK. We can go directly to the FS tab. So we can use the UID. You can use the device name. It's your call there. So I mean, I prefer like this. I do LVS or LV scan, and I just use this so I can. It's a little bit clearer to my brain, but you can use the UID if you prefer. It's fine. etc FS tab, LVM. Partitions. You don't have to do this, okay? This is just me being me. Partitions. Okay, ciao. Oh, I did not format it yet. I need to format the disk first. So let's format before we finish this. So mkfs .ex3x3. Okay, it's done. So if I do BLK ID, you'll see it. It's there. Fine. We can carry on. So this is EX33 defaults. forgot to add the MNT database 00. Looks fine. LVS just to make sure. Now you can do just mount -A. It's fine. df-h. There you have it. So this is our logical volume with 400 megabytes mounted on EMNT database. So just to make sure, logical database correct. Data store it is. View text size it has 8 megabytes, which make it 400 megabytes, which is fine. So looking at all this, it looks to be a-okay to my eyes. So this is all about video. I don't like video, full disclaimer, but I believe that video was removed from the exam objectives at the point of the recording of this video. So I don't think video is part of things, but I will include it here anyways, just in case. Okay? So they want you to create a video volume with 50 gigabytes. That's just that with on the mount point under data. Okay? That's just that. So in order to install, there are many ways to do that, but it should be enough to do dnf install video -y. You should get everything taken care of, okay? Or else you can do this LVM2 video kmod video -y. In theory, install video works, but if you want to take care of everything to make sure that nothing fails, just install LVM2 video kmod kvideo and you should be good to go. Cool. Now at this point in I'm using Rocky 9.5. They are going to use RHEL 9.5 or 9.4. Video, it's part of the system. It's part of LVM. So in the old ways to configure this, video was about its own service and its own tools. But now it's integrated with LVM, which is, it's good, I guess, because it's not a service. It's something in the kernel, which is a big step forward. But let's carry on. So I need to check my notes here because I don't do this often, so I need to check my notes. So we need to create a logical volume on a VG. So let's create a VG with enough space. So let's create a partition. Let's check lsblk. We can use STC. It's just sitting there looking pretty. So I'm not even going to create a partition. I'm going to do pvc STC. I'm sorry. At the exam, evaluate all of this. PVS. Okay. Now I'm going to create a volume group there. VG create. I don't know. Let's call it video. I don't know. Volume group. That should be good enough. /dev/SDC. It should be good enough. VGS. You have now one called video volume group, which is fine. Now the hard part comes here. It's a big command, but let's do it. LV. I have this in my notes. In the exam, you need to actually make sure to remember this, or go to the main page to get some bearings. Video. Let's call it video logical volume. I call it LV, but let's give it 50 gigabytes effective, 50 gigabytes virtual. So just 150, so it's fine. So this is going to be made on video volume group. And let's call it video pool. Insufficient space. Oh yeah, yeah. My partition it's not big enough. Okay, that's fine. Let's how big it was? 33. So let's give it 33. 30. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's quite kind of on the borderline. So my VVDC disk is not big enough, but to give it 50, let's give it a little bit less. It's fine. Throughout the exam, throughout the exam you will get the enough space. I just made not a big enough VDC drive, but on your actual exam you will have access to a big enough disk. It's fine. Cool. And now it's LVM. So LVS, there we go. Video pool, it's there. It's not quite as big as the one they requested on my question. That is 50. It's fine. I just threw the number 50 there. They could be during the real exam. It can be less, because on the last exams that my students done and I have done myself, video was not part of the exam. So I just threw the number 50 there as an example. It's a round number. That's fine. They probably will ask you a smaller number. That's fine. The process is the same. So it's the same thing. I just made up some numbers. It's fine. The important thing is we have the video pool here, which is great. That's what we want. Now you just need to create a partition. Okay, and you should be okay. You should be perfectly okay. So we have here the video pool. It looks fine and dandy. And we have created the pool as they wanted it. So let's go LV scan. And we have here the video pool. Okay, which is again, it's perfectly fine. I mean, now we just need to create a directory and mount it, and you should be perfectly good to go. So I just made a cut here so you guys don't have to wait. So I just formatted the volume, which is again logical volume name. You just formatted it and it's fine. I'm using XFS. They will specify that in exam too, but if not, assume XFS. ls blk, and we are good to go. blk id. Since this is formatted, it's right here at the bottom. Now you just need to go get this, for example. Go to your FS tab. So go to, that's video mount. Good job. What is called? It's on the data /data. Oops. /data. XFS defaults 00. 7 quits, and now we test. Cool. Okay, there we have it. 50 gigabyte, and we should be a-okay. So this is video. Video since can be a little bit confusing, so I highly advise you to watch this more than once and check it out, because there have been lots of changes between the first iterations of video on RHEL 9 and now it's different. It kind of made a change from being a service to being a kernel module. All right, that's good to know. Okay, 21. Resize the previous created logical volume database. It was called database, I forget. Plus 100 extents. Okay, it should be simple enough. So let's go to our server B. What was it called? So you want to extend the logical volume to plus 100 extents, and it's called database, right? It was a database. Yeah, I was okay, correct. So LVS database is there, so it should be something like LV extend small l plus 100 resize dev. What was it called? Dev data store. What was called the I forget, VGS display, this scan, I forget, it was VGS LV scan, and yeah, okay, that's it. So let's do LV extend minus L plus 100 resize, and this guy there. Okay, done. So it should. I forget how many extents there was before that. You can just roll back, and the previous extent size was 50. So we should see right now 150. LV scan, not scan display. And this is the root, this is the swap database, and yeah, so it was 50 and now it's 150. So basically the command is this one. People like to resize and resize the extents and then do a resize of the file system. This will just make this on one simple swoop. And there you have, it's now perfectly fine and it's extended. Ooh, so many. Enable the recommended TuneD profile on your system. All right, sure, let's go. Cool, so let's do all the steps. DNF install TuneD -y. Already installed, no surprises there. It should be, but if it isn't, systemctl -- now enable TuneD. TuneD ADM profile. These are the options. Okay, let's check the recommended. Virtual guest, no surprises. Now we just do the profile. This is going to be running, making rain wet, but whatever. Systemctl restart TuneD and to confirm active. Yep, the recommended is the active one. Welcome to the 23rd and most likely last practice question for the EX200. Welcome back. It's all about containers. You're going to set up a simple container and make it run as a service. Come and check it out. So yeah, the first thing we should do is just install stuff. I would suggest just do the following: DNF install. Let's install this one here. And this guy here, we should be good, and we should be good to go. Just let it rip and just wait. And we have installation complete. If you have packages already installed, cool. If you don't, just install it, and we'll probably most likely have 100% of the tools that we need to carry on. So in the exam situation, after you do the installation, it will depend on the exam questions, but you may need to do a couple of things. I'm not going to do that here because I don't really, in my environment, I don't really need it. But in your case, they probably will ask you to do some sort of login. So just do podman. So you can get access to the required images for the exam. Login. They're going to ask you whatever host name. I'm going to make one up. So let's, I don't know, registry.lab.example.com, for example. --tls equals false, verify equals false. I don't do this in my case, but if they'll probably ask you throughout the exam to do that. I will not execute this because I don't have to do it. You just log in. It will ask you for the username and password. You just type the username and password that they provide you, and it should be okay to continue. Next, they will most likely ask you to configure your own connect to the registry, the one they're going to use throughout the exam question. And that will be just a matter of going to, we have two options. You can go to this file here and just edit this line here, so this guy here, and just add the one they provide you and remove the others that don't matter, and you're good to go. Most likely it's going to be something like registry.lab.com, or you can just create on your home folder a .config file, containers, okay, And I'm using root right now. And you should, throughout the exam, they're going to ask you to switch to another user. So if you're going to edit the main file on the etc file, you need root, or else just log in with your secondary user, either one that you already have or some user they're going to ask you to create. Then just create your own home folder. On your home folder, student config containers. Okay, and you just create your file there called, and it's called the one that it was beforehand. It's registry.conf, but this is going to apply only to this user. Okay, and then you just need to add something like this. But don't worry too much, because they will provide you this information, and you don't need to actually memorize this, because they will provide you that. So I'm not going to keep this because I'm not going to use this, but you would just write and quit and then carry on with the remaining actions that most likely would be to log in to that registry so you can access your container images. So now let's search for an image that is based on, that can offer us HTTPD, okay? And I really want to find one that is Red Hat based, okay? So let's try to get this one, Podman pool. Let's try, I don't care about the version, they work similarly. So let's get this one. And let's see if we can pull this image. And here we have it. So we have the UBI version 8. This is coming up nicely. Just to be a little bit more up to date, let's try after this one finishes. Let's try and pull the UBI 9 to see if you are successful. This is a universal base image. This is basically the bare bones image, but this one includes the Apache web server, which is the one you want to use to our testing. Let's try that one. Maybe you can get a little bit more up to date. Let's see if you can get it. So yeah, so I think I'm happy with that. So the registry at RHCSA.com, it's a registry access at RHCSA.com. You can use that. It's free and it requires no login. It's basically open, anonymous. You can pull it. Okay. So we have some images now. So let's do Podman images. We have a few. So this one, it's based on Ubuntu, which is fine, but I really want to use something based on Red Hat. So next we will start a test image with this one just to poke around and see what you can get. So let's start just a quick container with this image just to poke around the container. So Podman run, this will run the container. We will specify the -d. This is the daemon option. This is make sure that the container is running on the background. You can give it a name like test web. Cool. I will not do anything about ports or local folder mapping. I just want to run it and see what gives here. Oh, I already have one. Strange. Podman PS. Oh, I already have one. I have one spawned. I didn't even remember that. So Podman RM, and we can just get rid of it. Okay, Podman stop first. That's fine, and then remove it. Podman PS. Cool. Now let's try again with this Red Hat based image. So Podman PS. It's running. It looks good, and it looks to be running on port 8080, which is fine. Let's just get a shell going. So Podman exec -it. The ID and bin bash. I think we have bin bash here. Do we have bin bash? We do. Cool. So this is the container itself. So cd etc httpd conf hd.conf. Okay, not a directory. Yep, correct. So this is a text file. Let's grab for port. Let's clean the screen. And is this the correct one? Let's VI into that. I don't really remember what is a parameter to confirm it, but you can just poke around of the config file. VM is not installed. Yeah, it's a basic container, so server root. I'm tired. It's listen. Of course, not support. It's listen. I'm just old and tired. I'm tired. Long day. So yeah, port 8080. So we know what port is listening to, even though we already knew that because the podman PS output actually confirmed that. So cool. So let's forward our port 8080 to the test server. Okay. And let's map also a local folder on the next steps. So it's time to run our test container. So now we have podman images. We're going to use this one here, and we're going to map a local folder to remote folder. I have my local folder already set up, so it's here, home, student, what I call it, web server, and this is going to have a simple index.html file. So basically, sorry, this is going to be our root folder of our container, var.ww.html. Okay, so let's do podman run done. Podman run, demonize this guy, minus name web server, forward the port 8080 to 8080, the remote server as we just found out. We'll map the local folder, so home, student, web server, and web server to the remote var www HTML. Okay. Please fix all the SELinux thingamajiggies. And the image you're going to use, it's going to be that guy there. So let's just review. Podman run, demonize it. It's going to call bweb server, forward the port 8080, and map the local folder to the remote folder, var.whtml, which is the default within rel. Fix all the SELinux stuff and use this image there, which is awesome. So let's do podman ps. Looking good. So let's do curl http server a.lab.example.com port 8080. I missed that. Curl server a.lab.example.com port 8080. Okay, something is going south here. Yeah, it's not server A, it's server B. I am a dum-dum. Server B is running the container, not server A. And there you go. So I'll keep this in just so you guys, if you run into some similar issues, you know what's causing this. So I'm on server B, not on server A. As simple as that. And we have now a running container that is running a local folder, has a remote folder. It has all its SELinux contacts working fine, okay? And it's running HTTP, and it's forwarding port 80 of the local server to port 80 of the container. So we have now a successfully running container. And now that we have a successfully running container, it's time to make it sure that it runs as a service, so it comes up automatically at server reboot. So people, this is one way to get the container up and running at when the server reboots. So let's do the procedure. So basically, you're going to create some structures for systemd to enable this container to be dealt with as a service, so it can stop, start, enable, and all of that good stuff. So I do this very seldom, so I need to check at my notes. But basically, you will create with the container running. You just do mkdir -p and create a folder on home. Whatever the user, I'm using student, use your own. The config folder should already exist. Systemd user. Then I'll navigate there. And we're going to use a procedure that is currently deprecated, but still works. But I will make an updated video about that in the future. But for now, this still works. We'll get a warning. I will get a video update in the future. like, subscribe, and comment to get notified. So podman generate systemd --new --, files, new files name, yeah, web server. Cool. So this shortcut using podman it's deprecated, still works, but in the future I will make an update about the quadlets, what they are and how can I use them. But for now, it will work. This is going to create a new service file that you can dealt with this container as a service. So we can use systemd to start, stop, and enable this container as a service. Okay, and that's exactly what we want. Now we stopped the container. Podman stop web server. Okay, then we just remove the container altogether. Cool. Then we confirm that it's off. It is. We reload the configurations of systemd --, user daemon reload. Okay. If you get something like cannot connect to the bus, cannot, I don't remember the exact message, but cannot connect to the bus error or something like that, just Control D, close all SSH sessions, reopen a fresh one as the user that has the service, and try to come in again. So if you get something like dbus error or connect to bus error in red or something like that, log out of your session and log in back with your user. Close off any SU sessions, any sudo sessions. Fresh start from the beginning with the user without SU or sudo, and this would work. It can happen if you sudo many times, and the system just gets confused. So let's just enable this. So systemctl --user enable --now container web server. Okay, looking good. Now if you do a podman ps, you have it there. Okay, and if this works, it should be perfectly okay. Now you need to enable the linger option, so you don't lose the credentials. So login ctl enable linger. Cool. And let's list that everything's okay. Login ctl and show user students. Perfect. Linger should be yes. I just saw it. It's there. Okay. And now you can just try again. Curl http://serverb.lab.example.com 8080. There we go. So systemctl ctl --user status. What was it called? I forget. Container something. Okay, container. And it's active and running. It's enabled, which means when we restart the server, this container will be automatically up and running and enabled through systemd. Welcome to the last episode of the EX200 RHCSA 9 and 10 prep exam. We are done. This is all I have to show you. Lots of things to learn and experiment. 20-something exercises, 20-something tasks that I've shown you. So, but right now, let me just give you some final tips, okay, about it. So those are the tasks that you most likely get tested on and how to resolve it. Good luck on that. Just some final notes. So when you are actually scheduling your exam, most likely you have two options. You have the local option, which means that you're going to have to schedule the exam either through the official Red Hat scheduling task online page or through authorized training partner that has Red Hat facilities. So it can be tested locally with the proctor, which means you have someone like me sitting there. It sets up all the environment, all the machines, all the physical machines, everything you need. You sit down and you do the exam. You will have access to your server A, your server B, okay, server A and server B, And you'll also have a small dashboard where you have some buttons where you can start the VM, stop the VM, reset the VM. So if you do something really, really bad that the VM does not start, you can reset the VM. So you have a series of buttons that each button you press. Of course, you will not have full access to the virtualization environment. So those buttons will allow you to start the VM, stop the VM, reset the VM, and restart the VM. So for example, if you want to do the root password thingamajiggy, you click on reload, it will reboot the VM, and you also have a graphical access like you would have in a normal environment. It will not be the normal VM management tools, but a specific tool for the exam, but will be pretty much the same, that will have physical access to the VM. But this requires you to go to the testing center, sit down on a reserved classroom, and you have a proctor like me testing you, not testing you, but giving you access to the exam. Okay, so the proctor is not going to grade you. So the proctor is there acting as a proxy between you and the exam. You schedule, you sit down on your seat, and the proctor gives you access to the exam. At the end, the proctor gets all the results together and sends it to someone to grade. So the proctor that you'll see on site is not going to pass you or fail you. It's not there to help you or give you tips. It's just making sure that the environment works. And when you are done with the exam, you will just forward all the results to Red Hat that someone can grade you. Or you have the option to go remote. Okay, remote. You schedule that, the time and the day, blah blah blah. Then you will build a USB key with a specific Fedora distribution. You'll just burn that image to the pen, and you can boot any machine with that pen, laptop, desktop, whatever the case, and you have your test environment at home, with the comfort of your own home. It's 99% the same as we'll have in a local classroom with a physical proctor, but in this case, you'll have a remote proctor. So you log in, and everything should be okay. Just some notes. You need to be in a very basic room. Okay, I cannot do exams in this room. It has too many computers, too many screens. You need to have one screen only. If you have a laptop with external screen, the laptop screen must be closed. A decent internet access, of course, and you need to have an external camera and a microphone. You are not allowed to use headphones. No headphones. An external camera, the laptop camera, it will not be allowed. You need to have a camera that you can move around. Why? Because the proctor is going to ask you to pan the camera throughout the room so he can see if everything is okay. There is no funny things going. Okay, external camera, internet access. If you are using a laptop with external screen, the laptop screen must be closed. Only one screen. So you need to be in somewhere that's very sorry, not without any external access. Like if you are on your lab, it will not be allowed. Too many screens, too many computers. Go to the kitchen with a laptop or a basic PC with one screen where there are no screens, a place that it's safe, and without the proctor will not say, oh, you can get information from there. In my case, once I tried to do it in my living room. I had the TV back in my back, and he asked me to cover my TV with a cloth. Okay, so I had to have the TV screen completely blacked out by a cloth, and I just scanned my room. There were no more screens, no other people. Door was closed, and I could do it. And at the end of the exam, they're going to ask you to rescan the room again with the camera. So you are very heavy controlled, and that's a good thing. You cannot move your mouth because they think that you are talking to someone, which is fine. Okay, so that being said, you can go to the training center with a physical proctor or go do it at home with these restrictions. Like, subscribe, and comment. Ask anything you want to ask in the comments below, and I'm really happy to help you in any way possible. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Like, once again, just one more time, like, subscribe, hype, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.